Danfo offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshe traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danfo, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danfo, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danfo, Africa. To learn more, visit danfo.africa.
Peace, family. We are live again. Dynast Amir, Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thanks so much for joining. Hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And first of all, FBA Young Lion. Okay, since you want to play grammar police, it is. Why is FBA? Not why are FBA? Is why is FBA? Okay. I forgot the exact rule because since there's not an S and FBA is a single like organization. Well, it's not an organization, but you know what I mean. It's like considered a single group. The correct word is okay. All right, Mr. Grammar Police. Okay, you want to play grammar police today in search of a Huru, but that's okay. That is okay. Peace to everyone in the chat room. Shout out to Marie Shaw, everyone. Shout out to Marie. Hit that like button. Make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. You guys are the best. You guys are awesome. As it rains today here in Atlanta, Georgia. All right. I am looking forward to the Oshun Festival. In fact, Marie came to the Oshun Festival with us in 2019. Marie came to the Oshun Festival with us in 2019. Shout out to Marie. We are going back next month, August 2nd to the 11th. August 2nd to the 11th, if you're interested in joining us in Nigeria for the Oshun Festival. Oshun. Please visit danfo.africa. Again, please visit danfo.africa. That's DANFO.Africa to learn more. And this is the site right here, you guys. Please go here and check us out. We will greatly appreciate it. And I appreciate y'all. Y'all are awesome. Appreciate the support over the years. So again, make sure you visit danfo.africa to learn more. We're also going to Ghana and Ivory Coast. We're going to Zanzibar in September, going to Kenya in September, going to Ghana and Ivory Coast in November, as well as Sierra Leone in November, and Benin for the Voodoo Festival in January. Are there a lot of African noops? What do you mean by African noops? Like there were several. A couple lines after me, there was a line that was at the University of Georgia. There was a line that was, predominantly African. They're African, first generation African. Yeah, first that immigrated here, first generation. They're either born in Nigeria or Ghana, or their parents immigrated here. So yeah, there are a number of African newps in my chapter, and just overall. But yeah, there are a lot of African newps. I'm thinking of them all now. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but hit the like button, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe. Hey, Brian, when are you gonna come on a trip? Brian. Brian, you gotta shoot me an email. I think we talked before, but I didn't I don't think I saved your number. Or I might have saved your number. I don't remember. Email me hello@downflow.africa. But I know, Brian, we talked one time before, I believe. I think we spoke once. I just don't remember. It was a while back. Man, you need to come to Zanzibar with us in September. That'd be perfect for you. Yeah, Chaotic Truth. Is he a Kappa or is he a Q? I forgot. Chaotic Truth. Is he a Kappa or is he a Q? I'm not sure. I think he's one or the other. I'm not sure. But yeah. But again, guys, hit that like button. Make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. But yeah, send me email, Brian. Um, what else we got going? Oh, when you go to Downfall Africa, click on documentary and stream the documentary. Again, when you say he's a perp. Oh man. Click on documentary and stream the documentary. I will greatly appreciate it. I appreciate y'all. No, I am in Atlanta, Georgia. And guys, remember I was complaining about how hot it was last week and the week before. It's cooled down and it's rainy now. So happy about that. Again, I'm happy about that. But it's supposed to get in the 90s again on Monday, but it's going to be in the high 80s for the rest of the week, and in the 90s. I'm not your guys' weatherman. Dynast, stop making things up. What am I making up? Is Essence Magazine considered a black institution? How can Essence Magazine not be considered a black institution? A Liberian owns Essence Magazine. That's a black institution. And from what I've seen, it's still FBA are complaining about an African buying a black institution, which doesn't, which is interesting. I'm just saying, why didn't FBA buy it? And we talked about this some last year. Why didn't FBA buy it? Okay, so if say you're disappointed in the way Essence is being ran, it was still a black American institution, and a lot of you guys are celebrating the downfall of it, which is crazy. Like, why would you want a black American institution to fail? It doesn't make any sense. That's the part I don't understand. Like you're celebrating the downfall, but from my understanding, the overall um, reviews of this past Essence Festival was it was good. That's what I was told. But I don't understand why would you want. It's like we celebrated Jackie Robinson integrating into the major leagues, and in that celebrating, our Negro leagues completely shut down. But we were celebrating it. The number of our institutions that have been sold are sold out. It needs to be studied, but you guys want to draw the line at Essence. Can't believe this tether then bought Essence and ruined it. And yeah, man, let Essence burn. Like it doesn't make any sense. And it was owned by white people for like 8 or 9 years before Richelieu bought it. Guys, give me a second. Hey guys, sorry about that. Sorry about that. I apologize. Also, guys, who was the lady that Madam CJ Walker? So the Madam CJ Walker estate, beautiful estate. In fact, let me pull this up. Beautiful estate. The Madam CJ Walker estate. Let me pull this up quick. Madam CJ Walker estate house. The mansion, beautiful mansion. Gorgeous mansion. Was acquired by Richelieu Dennis. So that's another institution. And don't get me started on BET and what happened to Jet. No, I think Jet Magazine is, well, it's not the Jet Magazine is not the same. I think they just do strictly I think Jet Magazine just does strictly online now. But you guys got to look at this property. Oh man, it's a gorgeous property. I wish I could find. I'm trying to find just the. Well, here we go. I'll play this. So this was also
Northern
Rich Lou
Tool
did this.
Equipment. Get serious.
Oh, oops.
We continue to honor Black History Month. Today, we shed the spotlight on Madam C.J. Walker. She's considered one of the first self-made Black women entrepreneurs. Both she and her daughter were also big supporters of the arts and were key supporters of the Harlem Renaissance. Eyewitness News reporter Michelle Charlesworth gives us a look inside Walker's historic mansion in Irvington, New York.
That's Madam C.J. Walker at the wheel. She drove her own expensive cars, plural, started her own hair care company, employed thousands of women, built her own mansion with every amenity. This is her mansion in Irvington, New York. Normally, people don't get a chance to go inside, but we're taking you in. Fantastic. Can you imagine in 1918, the reaction in the neighborhood when people found out that this was being built by a self-made millionaire who was a Black woman? How'd that go over?
It was a story in the New York Times.
Madam C.J. Walker began life in this shack. Listen to her great-great-granddaughter, Alelia Bundles, describe her.
She was orphaned at 7, married at 14, widowed at 20 with a daughter.
And so Walker, born Sarah Breedlove, whose siblings and parents had been enslaved, put down roots in Indiana and then New York, making a fortune marketing her own hair ointment.
But you can see the original 10, a poster of the original 10 behind me. Madam Walker's Wonderful Hair Grower. It was 50 cents. People didn't bathe as often and they washed their hair even less. She was losing her hair.
But Walker's homemade salve, made with sulfur and petroleum jelly, healed her scalp and her hair grew back.
This is original? This is original. This is a full body shower.
A woman who lived more than half of her life without plumbing designed her home with multiple luxurious bathrooms.
This is from 1980.
Walker's mansion had many bedrooms, bathrooms, and a custom organ which piped music around the house. She had a custom sink in the pantry, refrigeration, even floor hookups for a central vacuum built into the house.
This is the theater, the way you make an entrance.
Walker would have been even richer if she didn't pay her employees so well. And Madam C.J. Walker's story continues. Her great-great-granddaughter, Alelia Bundles, has written a book about her. Out of the cruel crucible of racism and sexism, Walker built an empire. The original influencer who took her problem, solved it, sold it, and became an American hero who lived fearlessly, taking the wheel in her own miraculous life. In Irvington, New York, Michelle Charlesworth, Channel 7. Eyewitness News.
So that's another institution that's owned by an African. But why? I don't understand. Why are you upset? And then once an African acquires these institutions, why do you want them to fail? That doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna put the link in the chat room and help me make it make sense. Yeah, she had a surround system back in the 30s or 40s, 50s. I just don't get it. Why do you want Essence and all these institutions that are still owned by Black people, but just because they ain't ADOS to FBA, why do you want them to fail? Why? And then again, why didn't FBA ADOS put the money up to acquire them? I mean, they built, what's the museum? The Hidden History Museum? Put up money to get that. But why not Essence? Go ahead, M.
Yeah, man. What's up? What's going on, sir?
Peace.
My opinion about this, Africans who want to acquire basically everything that we have in America, it goes back to my theory that they still see us as slaves, and they think that our actions, they should benefit from it. Like you look at the Ghana president and his initial before he did his I guess ploy to get reparations. When the UN first passed the resolution, I think in 2023, Ghana president said that the West was built off of their slaves and they should be compensated for that. And I think many of them still believe that, they should be compensated and should acquire everything that we built. I don't think they even see us as human beings. If you look at some of the people who call here from Liberia, the way they talk about us, like we just garbage, we just like Pookie Ray Rays, and they rather be around white people, and they brag about how they people slaughtered us when we had Liberia. And there was really no tribunal or no type of retribution for that. They just basically took our country and just, it is what it is. And now they're coming here to take everything that our ancestors built, be it education, corporations, the neighborhoods we built, these beautiful communities all over America. I think they're just coming to reap what they think is theirs. They're coming to take.
So why are we selling it, and why are we not acquiring it?
I mean, if you look at economics 101, when your business is suffering, you go bankrupt, and then it's liquidated better. What's called the courts liquidate it, and they auction your property off to the highest bidder. It may be because the market suffered, the essence market suffered, lack of sales. With John H. Johnson, Ebony and Jet, they had a skyscraper downtown, and they lost that during the Obama administration. It was primarily due to poor sales and their lack of black advertisers. They depended heavily on white advertisers. And that goes back to the Garvey book, The Message to the People, when he warned us about being heavily dependent on white financiers, because they could just pull the rug up under you. And that's what happened with Ebony and Jet. I'm pretty sure that happened with
me not ask your question. My question is, why aren't other FBAs coming in and acquiring these businesses?
When you have a situation with bankruptcy court, you're probably not privy to the auction. It's not like it's advertised in the Sun Times or the on YouTube. It could have just been sold without us knowing about it.
So what you're saying? So you're saying that when Africans acquire a couple of these institutions, they're privy to it, and FBA is not.
Exactly, it's similar to the Minority Business Development Administration. Like every state has one, and the organization or the agency was established by Nixon as an executive order. And when you call these places up and ask them where is the money, I have a minority business, they tell you all the money has been already allocated. And they tell you there's nothing particularly specifically allocated to Black people. So these people are up on the game. They know exactly when to apply, the deadlines. They got it all like a science. And we just nonchalantly like, okay, let me just call them up and see about the funds. Oh, it's all exhausted. And most of the money is going to these people from India, Africa, everywhere else. They just attack that minority money. So what happens is us, regular Black Americans, we have to compete with white people for funding. And I'm gonna call him great. The great O'Shea Duke Jackson just did an excellent expose showing this in his recent video that the Africans have been heavily benefiting from Black Americans' generosity, and they haven't really reciprocated. And now that like Black Americans has basically made Africa pop, now they mad about it. Telling you should be deported, even though most of them fled to the United States. He actually said that it's probably primarily due to coups and whatnot. They was anti-intellectual, but still their descendants decided to just not go back in. And they really don't give anything back to the Black community who they heavily depend upon. So I think it has a lot to do with them seeing us as slaves and something to exploit and extract from. As if we're just their cattle.
All right, let me pass the mic to Mansake. Go ahead, Mansake.
Hey, peace, Dynast. I hope everybody's doing well.
Doing well.
Far as the topic, man, let me just say something, right? Have you been to New York, Dynast, or no?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, are you familiar with Harlem, right?
Yes.
You familiar with the soul food restaurant known as Sylvia's?
I am.
Okay, so look, do you know that Koreans own that spot?
The facility, like the real estate or the restaurant
No,
too?
the actual business. They own Sylvia's in New York.
Well, let me. So it's interesting if that, I don't know if that's true or not. But
It is.
okay, but it's interesting because Koreans own a lot of soul food. In fact, there's a soul food restaurant here in East Point in Atlanta that's owned by a Korean. And Koreans own a lot of soul food restaurants, and Hispanics do too. Mexicans do too in LA. And I'll give you an example. What would happen? A lot of these soul food restaurants in LA will hire the Mexicans as cooks. And then if they, for some reason, don't want the business anymore, they will sell it to the Hispanics. And they,
right.
Yeah. So, yeah,
That happened in Chicago with this hoagie place called whatever it's called, Flavors or something, but it's owned by Hispanics now.
Okay, go ahead, Mansek.
Okay, but notice that how what you just said, right? How come they don't get the same smoke? BET is owned by a white woman. Anyone who could have bought BET, they let them buy it from a white woman. It's a capitalistic society. Everyone has a right to buy whatever they want. Like when Essence Magazine goes, it was put up for auction, right? From my knowledge, from what I remember, they were selling the company. Did anyone buy it? No, they ain't buy it. And then this notion of what M is saying, dude, you sound crazy. You really sound crazy talking about how that the Africans see you as slaves. What are you getting this notion from?
What do we own in Africa? We had Liberia, and y'all stole that from us. So what do we have?
Have you traveled to Africa? Number one.
What do we own in Africa?
Have you traveled to Africa? Yes or no?
Obviously, that's a rhetorical question.
It's obvious that you haven't, because if you.
But tell me the corporations that black people own in Africa. Tell me.
So this one company in Rwanda is owned by an FBA, and he sells I think coffee, tea, and also sells jackfruit in Rwanda. He's doing very successful in Rwanda. That's just one business owned by FBA. That's not including the other businesses in Ghana, also in South Africa, and also different parts of West Africa. So if you haven't traveled, to say, hey, I don't know if they own any businesses, instead of making up lies on this panel.
Tell me a business that we took from an African company.
Tell you what business that you took from an African company. So you're telling me here in the United States, like Byron Donald or the other billionaires don't buy other businesses? Is that what you're saying?
Y'all swallow up our businesses.
But okay, so what about the what's his name?
And the real problem people had was they had the Joe Law versus Jambalaya. They tried to turn the Essence Fest into like an African fest, and every city has an African fest already.
So why didn't you go buy the business?
Why did I buy it? I'm pretty sure people didn't know it was up for sale because these court auctions of like foreclosure cases.
So you as an FBA, you know. Why didn't you get your FBA friends to buy?
Why don't you sell it to the black people then? Why don't you just offer it for sale?
So why don't you go buy it? Because you on this panel saying that how they took it. They ain't took it, they bought it.
He purchased it from a white corporation that purchased it.
Okay, but then did they take it or did they buy
it? I think the first, it was a bankruptcy case. When you liquidate, the courts sell your property, sell your assets.
Did they take it or did they buy it, man?
The courts sell your assets.
Did they take it or did they buy it?
They purchased it from a white corporation.
Okay, so again, they bought it just like anyone else.
But they changed it into an African fest.
Okay, so my
oh Lord Jesus! Hey, man, sake, don't interrupt. Man, sake, you got a minute. I got to pass the mic to get to God.
But it's just so funny is like everyone else could attend and do in capitalism, but Africans can't do it. Nothing's preventing you from buying these businesses. Speaking, what's the billionaire name that's from the Griot, Mr. Allen? Did he not go bought a small channels, weather channels, Dynast?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, it did. But no one's not saying nothing about that though, right? So it doesn't. Yeah, exactly. It just makes no sense. It just seems that it's a disdain to certain groups of Africans. And whatever they had one bad experience with African, they label all Africans like that, and they're not like that, you know. And the thing is, like I said, nobody's preventing you from buying anything. Nobody.
All right, let me pass the mic to. Oh, man, say you got 30 seconds. I'll pass the mic.
Yeah. I was just saying, just in general, it's a capitalistic society. Everyone has to buy the to buy whatever. I'll give you a prime example. Dynast in New York, they had this thing called the auction deeds, which black homeowners, FBAs, are losing their homes in New York and stuff too. Africans ain't doing it. You want to know who's that group of buying it? I'm not going to say who.
No, the Jews. Jews.
Okay. You know, but they buying it. Is anyone complaining about it?
Let me say this though. When Byron Allen tried to purchase BET,
man, we got other people.
All right, go ahead. Sorry about that.
On the go ahead, gift of God.
Right. So what I have to say in regards to this is that we as a people, we have to be careful of the divide and conquer. You know, clearly, you know, the imperialists, they know what they're doing, you know, by bringing migrants in from Africa. You know, they know what they're doing, and to me, it seems like a divide and conquer tactic. You know, where one certain group, one certain ethnic group gets more advantages, you know, and one other group, they are like marginalized, you know. So it seems to me there is that a bit, you know, because you have to understand these people, they're getting clever, you know, they're getting clever, and they can
Hey, guys, 1 second. I have to go get my son from track practice. It ended early. I'll be back in 15, no more than 20 minutes. So you guys just behave yourselves.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll be back.
Yeah. So as I'm saying, we just have to be careful because, you know, a certain ethnic group, they may be getting more advantages, more benefits in ways of you know, having access to things more than another black ethnic group, you know, which obviously is causing some division, and it's causing a bit of conflict, you know. And I understand where obviously Black Americans are coming from, because, you know, you've got all this historical, you know, sites and historical foundations. Yeah, you've got all these historical foundations, and it can be, you know, it can be a bit of it can be a bit funny, or it can be a bit unsettling.
I have a question for you, brother.
Go on.
If somebody sells a product, if it's on sale, do you not have the right to buy it or not?
Of course, they've got the right to buy it. The world is competition.
I think this dude is.
But what I'm saying is you can tell, because look, these people do it over here as well. I'm in the UK, and they do these type of things as well. Do you understand? Yeah, where they like to pit other ethnic groups against each other. Do you understand? They'll give like more favoritism to a certain group of ethnic.
Hey, look at this. Bill Cosby tried to purchase. Bill Cosby tried to purchase NBC.
At the end of the day, what I have to say,
they did not sell it to him. He had the money.
The world is a competition. So if you ain't gonna go out and buy it, someone else is gonna step in. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got
they're not gonna sell it to us.
Your shit together.
That's not true. What you're saying is not true, because
Byron Allen tried to purchase BET.
I'm saying, listen to me. If you ain't got your shit together, someone else is gonna step in. And
y'all don't understand our country. See, in y'all country, y'all have protections. There's no protections of black assets in America. They will not sell us stuff, and they will rather give it to an African. Go ahead.
See, this is,
obviously, we're not saying there is that marginalization.
They tried to buy the Denver Broncos, Shaq, and a whole bunch of black people. They would not sell it. They sold it to a white person for less money. What you talking about?
But to be honest with you, I think it's just a small, it's a small percentage.
Y'all don't understand what the dynamics in America is.
I mean, look at Shaq. Shaq owns a multi-million.
And they tried to purchase the Denver Broncos. They would not sell it to him.
Look, the worst thing is Shaq. He employs just a bunch of Caucasians.
But don't talk about Shaq. I'll just use him as an example.
This is not the argument. The point of argument is They said Africans are taking over
You
their
took over
businesses.
Liberia.
So I don't even know
So what you talking about?
why you coming up with
Why did your
some sort
people
of
steal
conspiracy
Liberia from
that
us?
they want certain tribe to take over
Why do you look?
businesses.
Why do
It
you
doesn't make
deserve
no
Liberia?
Why
sense.
y'all talking over They each do other, that though.
Go
It's
ahead. Go
it's
ahead.
not even a conspiracy. It's deep rooted in history. It's there, written in history that they do them things.
But we should probably
There's
pass the
nothing
mic.
conspiracy.
For African to take Black American property.
We should pass the mic
But
to
then this
somebody
is the
else though.
topic. This is what we're talking
I'm
about.
saying in general, they do them things anyway.
Hey, let's pass the mic.
All right, it's my time to talk then. So my thought of like what Masache said, right? This doesn't make no sense at all, right? I live, like what Masache was saying, I live like a block away from Xavier, and I see a lot of African American businesses being taken over by the Jewish and Africans. But Africans would never buy property. Even if African American want to sell their brownstone in Harlem, they will not sell it to African. We have to go through the Jewish or other ethnic group to buy properties. If they know you African, they will not sell it to you. So and anybody that tell you I live in a historical place, which is Harlem, right? If anybody who tell you African Americans would sell their properties straight to African, that's a complete lie. I have been in negotiation in a lot of businesses. I have friends that have bought properties here, Brownstone. African Americans would not sell their property to African. I don't know the reason why, but again, it could be the thing. Well, we taking over their businesses, but this is the capital market, function, right? That's what Masa just said. If the business is out for sale, if African get a better bidding to buy the business, then you say the Africans are taking over your businesses. And you mentioned about O'Shea. Everything that O'Shea was saying in our video, he looking at ChatGPT and just give misinformation. Everything he said was completely wrong.
No, it wasn't.
Right? He read word for word from ChatGPT, and he know his audience. He know his audience are not too informed, and he causing a lot of chaos. Right? Everything he said was a lie.
O'Shea not on this topic, bro. Stay on topic.
First of all, he said African that came. No, he said African that came here for school, or Martin Luther King helped them to help them to go to school.
But Brother Bishop, to be fair, M brought up O'Shea first.
That was
topic.
We gotta stay on topic about what this topic is. That has absolutely nothing to do with what we talk about.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. If you say Africans are taking business, and someone is coming up with some fake conspiracy that they're doing this just for certain ethnic group to take over. I don't see if this is an open business. You go in, you want to buy it. If you get better chance of getting loan from the bank, or you have cash to purchase a business, you purchase it. It's nothing wrong with that.
I said there's a
Red Rooster. Red Rooster is owned by this. Red Rooster is owned by this Ethiopian guy.
Probably should pass the mic somebody else.
What's up? Let me go real quick.
Can I say something real quick? Man, I was here before you, bro. Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Salute to Dynast. God bless the panel. What's up, George? What up to CD? To everybody on the panel. Man's sake, everybody. God bless Dynast. Good topic. One of the reasons why it's a good topic, because when you talk about to any African American, even some of these FBA people, they like to brag about how they have so much wealth. But the reality is they're wealthy, and the elite has abandoned the black agenda, and the FBA people have no smoke for them. There's black people buying cars, watches, houses that they don't even live in, while there's African Americans in need of loans. Some people are foreclosing on the houses. There's Shaw University, I saw in a news article, as well as in the media. They're about to try to sell it. Where is FBA on that, right? And then people like M, he's trying to play victim. Oh, they only sell it to Africans. African Americans are way more connected in this country than Africans and Caribbeans are combined. So this idea that they don't want to sell to you guys and all that kind of goofy shit is a victim mentality. And CD's what he was saying last time is more relevant to this topic. of the victimhood mentality, because M got that shit. M believes that Africans are somehow more celebrated and connected than they are. Meanwhile, they have more connections. They have more ownership over the institutions. They have more people in the Black Caucus. They have more population size. So it's a whole victimhood mentality. And the dumbass question M asks about what institution that African Americans took over in Africa. When you talk about Professor James Small, he was taking over a hotel. When you look at people like the guy who used to own BET, he had a bunch of resorts in Liberia.
Yeah,
So
Ben
some of the stuff
Johnson.
he's saying
Yeah.
is traditional victimhood narrative, and I passed him like, that's it. Salute to the panel.
That's Ben Johnson.
Hold on,
Ben
CD,
Johnson.
you got your turn. You went. Let me go. Now, when I hear these conversations, and it saddens me because when I come online, it just lets me know just how miseducated a lot of our people are when it comes to the Black world, period. So we sit here in America, and we have sellouts. And as a foundational Black American, a lot of us been calling out. We got names for our sellouts and coons and Sambos. We've been calling them out for years and talking about being contracted in with the dominant society. So we already know that. That's why we had a grassroots, a Black Power revolution versus the civil rights movement. Like, this is nothing new. That's why a lot of people got to educate themselves on the intricate parts of our story and our journey here in America. I live in Philadelphia, the first Black Renaissance, not Harlem, not Brooklyn, Philadelphia. And in Philadelphia, there was a period of time when we didn't have Jamaican neighborhoods, Haitian neighborhoods. It was just all Black people. That was it. Philadelphia is a very unique place where it was more foundational Black Americans, but when all the immigrants came that was Black, they amalgamated into the culture, and we was all together. That was the unique thing about Philadelphia. The issues that you guys have in your country that makes you have to leave your country, right, and come here and start over, we have the same here. We just was never able to leave and start over. We had to stay here and be up under this oppressive government. So you guys are able to approach it differently coming here as an immigrant. The problem is we're not what's the word I'm looking for? Sympathetic to each other's plight. We're competing against each other. Where in the Black world, when you go back to our grandparents' times, they understood the idea of Pan-Africanism and how it should work. So in America was the stomping ground. That's why you had a Marcus Garvey or so many black people that was not Black American flourishing here in the country. Some that's fell off because as time went on, immigrants that was coming here wasn't practicing Pan-Africanism. They was practicing separatism. So now we're in a place where we're competing and fighting against each other. So what I'm saying is, I'll say this: I'm not mad at any immigrant as a foundational Black American. I'm not mad at any immigrant that come here and want to make the best versions of themselves and buy up things and all that kind of stuff. I just need you to be more educated as to who we are and why you have the platforms to be able to buy them, because we wasn't always in this position. So I just think that we need to have more conversations in the Black world about our positions, because there's a reason why you guys are here, because of your corrupt governments and your own people. And we have corruption amongst ourselves. So neither one of us is any better than the other. So that's all I want to say.
No, hold on. Can I ask you a question real quick?
I think it might be massive.
I want to ask a question too. Oh, go ahead, Christopher. I want to ask you a question.
It's a quick question. My main point was this: who's more connected in America, the Caribbean, the African, or the African American?
Well, you want me to answer that? I'll answer it for you.
African American, of course.
That's my point. That's why he's trying to make it seem. He's trying to make it seem like we're more connected than they are.
Now,
exactly. That's the part I want to say.
Don't ask it and start talking. Let me answer the question. The Black American is more connected, but again, I need you to understand what I'm saying. In this country, the same way the corruption is in y'all country and why you have to leave to start over, in this country, the majority of folk that's contracted in with the dominant society cannot get that money and give it back to your people. So when we teach on what they've done historically to us here in this country, you have to understand the nuances of how it works and why you guys can't achieve the things you do in your country. So yeah, some things can achieve, but as long as you're up under their system. So you'll look at maybe a Shaq, but Shaq represents 60 million people. So it's what I'm saying is it's a system that's in place. When you guys come here, you leave the country that oppressed you and you come and become the best version. I'm not hating on that. But I think that if you take our 10% and send them to your countries, we would flourish too. So we have to understand the way white supremacy works and how it attacks all of us differently. And what it puts us all in a fishbowl and have us fight each other.
So Bishop,
it's not even 1% of African.
Hold on, City, hold on. Let me ask Brother Bishop a question. So you just brought up white supremacy, right? So can we both agree?
I can't hear you.
All right, can you hear me now?
Wait a minute. Let me turn my system on. Go ahead. Say what you said.
All right, you can hear me, Bishop?
I can hear you.
Okay, so can we agree, like, for example, right? You have...
I can't hear anybody.
He went out.
I would say this, though, if I get a chance to speak. I would say when a guy say victim mentality, that goes with my theory. Africans see us as slaves.
I didn't finish what I didn't finish what I was saying.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I was saying, right?
You know something.
I was saying. Hold on. So Mali got sanctions placed on them, right? Burkina Faso got sanctions on them, right? So when Nigeria went and they got their sanctions and stuff, whatever, not only that they got sanctioned by ECOWAS and AU, they also got sanctioned by the United States, and they also got sanctions by the EU. They purposely tried to sabotage that country to the point that the country got destabilized and they couldn't feed themselves, right? So we both can agree, right, that there's certain entities in play that want to wish the downfall on Black people in Black countries. Can we agree to that?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Hey, let me say this to you real quick, man, to add on to what you're saying, just real fast. Those countries that come with those as rich in natural resources, they keep them dilapidated for a reason to stop them from developing themselves, right? We know that. And then they also keep us in certain positions to stop us from developing. They learned from the 40s and the 50s on what happened when you start bringing the groups together and how the Black Power movement and Civil Rights movement worked globally. Right, because remember, Black Power was a global phenomenon. It wasn't just in America. So we got to study the history of what they've done.
Can I speak now?
I got you. Let me say one more thing too, right? So you got a guy named Ibrahim Traoré from Burkina Faso, right? They have a thing called the IPN Farafina, which means the Black Institute for Black People, right? It was a thing that started from Thomas Sankara when he came to Harlem, when he met up with Professor James and Dr. Jeffries, right? So So after he died, he revitalized that institute. So right now, what they're doing is they're teaching Black history from all over, including what's happening inside the states. So I just want to make sure that you're aware that over there in Burkina Faso, they are talking about Black history all over, including what happened.
And one of the things you guys always say that Africans come over here. The entire African population, not even 1%, not even 0% of African population is here. Less than 3 million Africans in America. We have billion population in Africa. So when you talk, it make you sound like
let me
all
say
Africans
this, though.
are coming here, which make no sense.
Hold on. Let me say this, though.
No sense.
Now, when the bishop brother spoke, he said that if we're left alone, we will flourish. That's assuming that we're somehow equal. That's true for us. Like when we went to Liberia, we built that country into a modern paradise. When we was left alone after slavery, we was able to build without anybody's help. We don't see an equivalent in Africa. Like you say, Nigeria is heavily dependent on sanctions. What do you think Jim Crow was? That's a sanction, and we still flourished. I don't think we're equal. Go ahead.
You are aware that the GDP grew in those countries. They control the resources. You are aware of that.
You can still flourish without that. You still depend on European dollars and trade. It's not self-sufficiency.
You always have to be adapting. You get me? Life is about adaptability.
But when you look at Oklahoma, we was totally excluded, and we was able to build a functioning. We had trains, railroads, just like in Liberia. Why can't y'all do that without white people?
And let me ask you a question, right? How do you think the AS was able to get weapons? You know you can't buy.
You still making excuses, man.
No. I'm asking.
We are not the same because 2 years after we was enslaved, we was able to build cities. Like y'all still can't do it in 2026. You still need the white man to come in and do something for you.
Answer my question. how were they able to buy weapons if their financial system
You can
is
make your
blocked?
own weapons if you had like
No, you
knowledge
can't.
and
Okay,
technology.
so let me
What's
answer
the
the
excuse?
question.
You got all
Hold
these
on,
educated
hold
engineers
on.
all over the world.
Hold
Why do
on.
you
Let
need
me
somebody to sell you weapons?
hold on. No, listen. So
Why can't you
let me answer.
manufacture weapons
Let
with all
me
that iron ore you got over there?
let me answer the question for you.
My thing
Okay.
is, I
Let me
think Africans are
let
so
me no
jealous
let me
because
let
we
me
was able to
let
run
me answer
circles
the
around
question.
them
Let me answer the
after being
question.
enslaved.
Let me
Go
let
ahead.
me answer the question for you. Let me answer the question.
It's just an excuse you're gonna make.
Let me answer the question. Okay, thank you. So they were able to acquire those weapons because they had the resources. It's called a borrowing system. So what happens? They don't use dollars. They don't use CFA. They use their gold to buy those weapons.
But why can't
Okay,
you make
so
them yourself? Why do you need the white man to sell you weapons?
that's what they're doing
What's
right
wrong with you?
now. That's what they're doing right now,
What are
man.
your mechanical engineers are for? What is wrong with you, man? Why do y'all need the white man to do
You have
everything
to
for you?
understand.
Are you gonna let me finish? Let me
We
finish.
keep telling you that
They
we've been through a
permanently
You're making
hold
Holocaust.
excuses,
on,
man.
different God,
Do you know how many
hold on.
inventions we made in America after slavery?
They are
We was able to
manufacturing.
invent technology and
Are
develop
you gonna listen?
technology
Are you gonna
without
listen
white
to what I
people.
gotta say? Are you gonna listen to what I gotta say? So let me speak.
Go ahead.
Let me speak. So, like I said, they are in the process of doing local manufacturing for weapons. Right now,
But
they're
it's
on
in
phase 2.
2026. Like, you should have did that 100, 200 years ago.
How can they do that if
Guys,
I'm gonna tell you about
guys,
Niger.
I'm back. I'm
gonna tell you about Niger.
No,
Niger
I'm
was
back.
too.
I'm back. I'm back.
There you go.
Okay. Who hasn't spoke yet?
All of
No,
us did, but
we all spoke. But I was responding to M because he was saying that why the Africans that ain't building right now, and I'm trying to tell him that they are, and he's cutting me off. But I'm trying to answer his question.
Okay.
Okay, but I would, huh? What'd you say?
Oh, well, go ahead and answer.
Okay, I was just saying to him, if he was aware, Burkina Faso has a thing called Faso Mabel. Every day, 24/7, they're building roads and highways every single day, 24/7, day and night and day and night. And what they're trying to do is the AES is going to connect their roads, their highways, and also they have an investment bank which they invested $895 million. So M, tell me, if they're not doing so well, where did they get that money to put that money inside the bank?
But this is
Can
too
you answer me
late.
that?
This is 2026. Y'all should have did this 100 years ago when we was doing that in Liberia, building roads and railroads and in the early 2000s, early 1900s.
That they were under France, and France had a
You making
monopoly of everything.
excuses.
They had
We was under
a
oppression
monopoly on
too.
the business. They had the
We was under
monopoly on the
Jim Crow,
businesses.
and we
They
still
had the
built cities.
monopoly.
Why
They
couldn't
had the
y'all do it?
monopoly on the businesses. They had the monopoly on the
Why
military.
can't you
They
invent
decide who can
anything?
trade or not. But guess what? They're not there no more. They're doing very well. And in fact, the IMF and the World Bank said that they're doing very well in the Sahel right now. So tell me what you talking about.
Hey, let me say something. Let me say this too.
Go ahead, George.
I want to say this as an FBA. I want to give a shout out to Dynast first, right? A brother like Dynast and a brother like O'Shea Duke Jackson, right? These two black men that come from the hoods in America, and they was able to travel around the world. Coming from some of the places that we come from, most of our people would never ever see the things.
Hey, Bishop, George, if I could interject, I'm not from the hood. I lived on a good street
You still a black man from Sacramento, from Sac Town.
I am, yes, sir. I am definitely.
So what I'm saying is, we know for a fact, if you line up 85% of young black men will never be able to travel and see the things that you saw, that you were able to see around the world, you and O'Shea. And I preface that by saying that when we start educating ourselves and understand that after the 1877 compromise, we built cities, right? Functional cities, and they start burning them down. We got over 4,000 lynchings in this country of landowners, business owners, children, everything, all the way up and damn near to 1970 on what we was going through here in this country. But over there in Africa, when you study Africa, they didn't have militaries to defend those resources that they come. So they was under the foot of the British and the French, and those countries that was rich in resources that moved the world was kept dilapidated for a reason, to stop them from developing themselves. So there was no Nigeria or Ghana or South Africa. All that stuff is controlled by colonial still powers just behind the scenes. The same way we were still fighting here. The problem that we have is
also, man, they had their own independence movements and the right to self-rule. Hold on. You was talking about how we undermine.
How do you just cut me off while I'm talking? All I'm saying is, we all got our own stories. As a foundational Black American, we have our story in America and our fight for racial justice, equality, and everything that we got. And we've opened our arms up to everybody because America was the ground zero and we were the minority group under the foot of a majority, where you guys were the majority under the foot of a minority. So
exactly.
we wanted other groups to come here and help us fight against white supremacy. And for a while it worked early on, but at some point it stopped. So in these conversations, I think that we because I study history and I consider myself a historian, I respect y'all's story, but I need you guys to respect our story as well, because you guys were able to leave an oppressive government and come and start over. If you take our 10% and send them to your countries, they will flourish too. I think if we sit and we start to respect each other's story and understand each other's stories, the conversation ain't that complicated.
But
True,
brother
very
Bishop,
true.
brother Bishop, but
Bro,
brother
no,
Bishop.
guys, we got new people on the panel, so let me pass the mic to them. Go ahead, King, unmute yourself.
All right. Thank you so much, Dynast. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Sure. Thank you so much. I'm Nigerian by my accent. If you pay attention. No, you know, we Nigerians, we are very proud people. First of all, the myth that Africans are poor people, are suffering, can't do anything for themselves is starting to fade away. This is my joy. You know, for a long time, they used to look at us, even some black Americans, these so-called FBA guys used to look at us like we are the lowest of the lowest. But today we have a platform here that talks about Africans buying African American properties in the US. This is fantastic.
That make you feel good?
No, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good.
I told you.
It makes me feel good. I'm not, first of all, I would like to make this very clear. I love, as far as you're a black person, you are my pride and joy. That is, I will make that clear. I love African Americans. I admire you people. I do give you people your credit for a fight that you guys fought. You guys inspired a lot of people. That's a fact that nobody can take away from you guys. But for a long time, we were the underdogs, Africans. People used to look at us like we are nobody. But today, if you are talking about Africa, we are included in the conversation some way, somehow. We are just coming up. Give us time. You are crying that we bought this now. This is just little. Give it time. If we are able, if the White House is for sale, we will buy it. Just to prove a point. Just to prove a point. I'm telling you guys in honest fact.
My theory has been proven.
This is what I have to say. Yeah,
my
let me
theory
come
is
in.
true.
Let me come in. Hold on.
Let me finish, brother, please.
Go on. Yes.
If the White House is for sale, we will buy it. Just to prove a point to you guys that
you want it because we built it.
No, that is not my problem. I'm not. See, Oga, listen to me.
Now, go ahead.
The white man will not sell that land. You understand that?
Let me finish what I'm saying, Oga. Oga, I don't have any problem with African American. No, me, I don't care. That's why you are black. If you know about Nigerians, you will know. That's why you are black. You are my brother. I don't care even if you are half black. It's not my problem. You are black like me. I love it.
Why you have such discontent, you got a bit of discontent.
Well, let King got 45 seconds. I gotta pass it to
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. For me, as far as you are black, I am satisfied. I am happy. Black Americans, you can abuse me the way you like. Africans, I don't care. As far as you are, it's a black person. It's another black person. But let a white person do it. Then you will know the madness in me. But that's aside. My own is, I'm happy that Africans are finally being featured in the movie. That we are no longer considered poor people. We are no longer considered the underdogs. The world can see us now and they can't avoid it anymore. Thank you so much. That is just all I came up to say.
No problem. Appreciate you guys. Hit the like button. Let me share these super chats. JC, thank you for the $1.99 holla. FBAs have no problem whites buying their crap. Oh, massa. Pape 55602. Thank you for $10 holla. How many videos are there on YouTube of Black Americans moving to Ghana, Kenya, etc., and buying land to build? Most of these locals will never afford to do those things. Stop crying, my G. All right, go ahead, TT.
Oh, yeah, how you doing?
Hey,
Good.
Dennis, have you spoken yet, though?
Well, I literally asked, has
Yeah.
everybody
You
spoken?
spoke,
And he
you
didn't say
talking
nothing.
about?
Go ahead,
I
TT.
mean, they were cutting me off.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't get my point.
Go ahead, TT. Go ahead, TT.
You spoke, man.
Yeah. So the black people in America, the black people here, they came from the west coast of Africa. So in my mind, it pains me when I hear black people in America talking bad about African people. When there were people that came here, they came in chains in the west coast of Africa. Now, in Africa, not all black people are the same people. Everybody, the people in West Africa, if you look at them and you look at the people in the black people in America, they look alike because they are the same people. The people in East Africa, the people in North Africa and South Africa are not like the people in West Africa. So me, it feels bad. I get angry when I hear black people saying, "Oh, you got this and that." You know, and like black people do not sell black people. Okay. You will not sell your mother in slavery.
Facts.
You will not sell your friends in slavery. So who will be there to fight in the army? Who will be there to cook the food? Now, I mean, who will be there to cook and to be the doctor in the medicine? A different race of black people sold a different race of black people. So this whole thing about this and that, we all have a common enemy. And the common enemy is the men that run the world. And the man that run the world, he controls all the money on earth. He controls all the nuclear bombs. You know what I mean? The guy control everything on earth. And we arguing amongst each other. It makes no sense. Know what I mean? And that's what I had to say on that issue,
All right, go ahead, Passport King.
Good evening, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I be heard? Is it coming through clearly?
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. All right. I'm going to get right to the prompt. Why is FBA mad? Foundational Black Americans, Africans are buying Black American institutions. That's a bit of a bait question, but I'm going to get right to it. No, we're not mad. If anything, this is actually an excellent teaching lesson because it's helping to dispel the myths of the supposed superiority and intellectual prowess of other groups that's been falsely assigned to them. Let's cut right to the chase. Let's take the key example. Let's take Essence, the magazine at Essence Fest. 2 years in a row, Essence Fest is a major flop. And it's not just the fact that, the ticket sales are low, attendance is low. That's a given. It's a flop to the point where they're losing money, big money, meaning like hundreds of thousands into millions of dollars lost 2 years in a row where they can't even afford to pay the vendors. They're owing the city money. This happened 2 years in a row, even this year. So they may not even have it.
Where's the proof?
We mean, where's the proof? It's already been posted. People's put up videos. It's a major flop.
I'm just checking right now. I don't see anything that we talked about.
Last year,
let him finish. Go ahead, Passport King.
So to tie it up, you talking about where's the proof? It's already documented. So this has helped dispelling the But besides the fact that it's losing money, here's the issue with the Essence Fest that kind of ties in to how some diaspora immigrants act in terms of buying Black businesses that was originally created or institutions. They want to take institutions that were started by Black Americans, whether you want to use the term FBA, you want to use the term ADOS, you want to use freemen, but we understood to be this U.S. slavery descendants. And they want to come in and say, oh, this is cool, but then they want to, you know, for lack of a better term, Africanize it. And now see, people listening now, I know some of them are triggered because they have such, you know, low self-esteem, and they think I'm using African and as a negative. I'm not. But African culture is foreign to Black Americans. It's foreign to America. So when you're trying to force a foreign culture into the United States, it's going to be rejected, not just by Black Americans, but by all people. This is why Essence Fest is failing. So when they try to take Essence Fest and they do stupid things like Jollof versus Jambalaya, and then they shock that people push back, and they see 2 years in a row their attendance is failing, they can't figure out why. Well, guess what? Let's say, excuse me?
No.
What happened? No, someone said something.
Because you're lying. No.
What do you mean I'm lying?
No, go ahead.
What did I lie about? No, go ahead. What did I lie about? Clarify, please. Oh, so you're just gonna spout out random things because you don't like what's being said?
I'm just checking on everything right now. You look like you have no knowledge on what you're talking about.
It was not me. It was not me that said you a liar.
No, I didn't say you said it. So I know who said it. City just said it. I'm trying to ask you, what did I lie about?
I'm checking everything right now. All you're saying, it makes no sense.
So you're saying that Essence Fest has been a success last year and this year.
It doesn't
owe money. Did I lie about that?
When you said they're feeling, are they struggling to make a revenue, or what are their net profit? What is their balance sheet? Because you have no idea when you say business failing.
We right? May have no idea.
Because
you know what?
Because the reason I'm telling you that there are businesses that have a lot of cash on their balance sheet.
Hold on,
and they are not generating revenue.
While you're trying to form a coherent thought, I'm going to make it easy for everyone.
Because what your analysis is based on.
I'm going to pull up the article showing from last year.
No. Which part of the balance sheet that your analysis is based on?
To the city. So you're saying that didn't happen?
No. I'm saying if you say business fail, let's say for example, right? Apple right now.
Hold on, no.
Let me explain when you say business failing. You can't make a general statement like that.
It's not your turn. Go ahead, Password King.
Okay, I'll get that article in a second. But you know what? Because you know the diaspora immigrants, I know y'all deal with self-esteem issues and self-hate, so you get sensitive to any criticism. Let me take a very brief sidebar and explain to you what delineation is. Delineation is not about attacking Africans and Caribbeans. Delineation includes everybody. Right now, there's a simultaneous boycott of Asian businesses. Now, some in the Asian community at the very start of it, some of them was bold enough to talk greasy online. They marked it. They thought it was a funny joke, right? Some of them was talking real greasy. Well, guess what? It's barely a month and a half since the boycott of Asian-owned businesses in Black communities. You don't see any videos of them online talking greasy and mocking it no more. In fact, there's been way more videos of different Asians coming online, copping pleas and saying, hey, we shouldn't all be punished because of what Rick Child did. All Asians are not the same. You know, we all Asians, we don't all practice this. You know, some of them even trying to pull.
Passport.
They're not online talking.
That's a good thing.
Get back to the topic, Passport.
And if this Asian boycott
get back to the topic. Get back to the topic. I don't think you can hear me. Get back to the topic, Passport King. I don't think you can hear me. You just rambling now.
So I wanted to say in terms of hold on.
Hold on, he's back. Passport King. I said get back to the topic, and you just kept rambling.
Okay, I couldn't hear you for a second. Well, I was just using the Asians.
All right, well, we're over the Asians.
Let me get back on topic. It's not about attacking the diaspora because, you know, they like to play victims. They think any legitimate criticism or analysis, oh my God, you hate us Africans, you hate us Caribbeans, why are you attacking us? You can't have unity and you can't have cooperation with people that think that way. That's a very immature level of thinking, and that's at the best. The worst case is a parasitic form of relationship where they just want to take and extract and give nothing in return. So, and to bring it back to the Essence Fest, that's why Essence Fest has been a colossal failure 2 years in a row. And let me land my plane here. The so-called guy who allegedly brought what's his name, Dennings or something, whatever. Does he actually really own Essence, or is he just a puppet and a front man and other people are behind him? I haven't had a chance to look into it, but my intuition is he's nothing more than a tool. And you know, obviously he got that Carolina Wanga to run it, and she's run Essence into the
He's a
ground.
puppet of
Essence
Unilever,
magazine.
the person who
My
owns
feeling
Nigeria.
is he's not even the real owner. He's just a front man, and there's other people behind him.
Unilever, the
And
company
if
that
that's
owns
proven
Africa.
to be true, then that raises another very disturbing point that these diaspora immigrants are nothing more than tools of, you know, let's just say anti-black forces who want to see black people destroyed. And I'll land my plane there.
Passport
Yeah,
King.
what I have to,
Passport King.
look, what I have to say, yeah, what I have to say is
I have
what
a rebuttal
the
for
elites,
Passport
yeah,
King.
you see the elites, yeah, the black elites in America, yeah. What I want to say is that what I've seen is that they've got all this monopoly. You know, if you look at, you know, pick someone like Shaq, pick someone like Mayweather, but what I'm seeing is that they're not doing enough. Do you understand? It's like they like to detach themselves, like from the ground. Do you understand? From the localized blacks. Do you understand? So I think, you know, there's a problem there, because they should have had the monopoly by now. They should have had everything. You know, you got all this NFL, basketball players. You've got all this music industries. You know, that should have been a wrap. You know what I'm saying? That should have been, everything should have been set by now. But what I find is that, you know, they're not doing enough. You know what I'm saying? They should really, and what I see as well is that they like to employ other ethnic groups instead of their own ethnic groups. You know, so I think there's a bit of there's a situation there where, you know, they like to detach themselves, you know, from helping out within the community, within the black community. I don't know. Do you feel like that?
Okay,
do you feel
brother,
that's
Can I
yeah?
can I respond to?
Well, who
Yeah, respond to that.
controls?
Respond to that.
No. But I'm saying, who controls everything?
But no, if you've got wealth, you've got wealth. You can do stuff. Do you understand? It's not like, you know, you've got the
But
money.
who controls
The
the
money's in
wealth?
your
Who
possession.
controls the wealth? Who controls the wealth?
There's a certain group
Yeah,
that
If
owns
the
all the
wealth
wealth.
is in your
man. He's
hands,
correct, man.
hold on. If the wealth is in your hands, and if you're a real man, you can do what you want.
A person said something
Simple as
earlier.
that.
A person said something earlier about. Can anybody hear me? A person said something
Black people
that gave
control the
me an
money.
epiphany, and it's actually, they say you wouldn't sell your mother. And it made me realize slavery and selling slaves had nothing to do with a person actually owning the person. It was about a power differential. That meant that it was more people pro-selling you than it was people trying to defend
Get the
you.
hell
And the
out of
person
here,
that
man.
sold you
You a
say, I'm not going to
liar.
Brother,
defend you,
what about the
and I'm going to
sellouts
hand
here
you
in
over.
America, man?
Liar.
What
You
So
about
I'm
the
looking like,
African Americans? Hold on.
let me finish what I'm saying.
What about the African Americans that buying houses for $15 million?
No, and you a liar.
What I'm saying is this,
I
right?
could
If you look at this power
hold on. Nah, I
differential
gotta respond.
between Black
Hold
Americans and
on.
Africans, right?
Let me
You got 50
respond.
million people compared to 1 billion people,
I
right?
want to respond to
That's
M
a
real quick,
what?
because
A
M is
1/20th
M is a
ratio or
liar.
something like that. And that one small percentage on that ratio differential produce more than a vast amount. So if you look at, if it's a material, you got
you a
copper
liar.
compared to gold. that
You are
small
lying.
percentage has more
I can hear
value
me, right?
than that billion people. And we was able to overcome white
I can hear
supremacy
me, right?
without Queen Elizabeth giving us freedom. We was able to fight and create all of this with this small percentage of people, which shows that we have immense value that the Africans see. And they want to come get
We
that.
are the yes, you're
Immense,
right.
concentrated
Can everybody
value
hear me?
for us to be able to do what we did with such small numbers. That's
Yes.
Can everybody hear
amazing.
me?
That's incredible.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
Unfathomable.
now
brother.
You got a
I
billion
just want to
Yes,
people
brother.
and you can't
Yes,
get it
yes.
done.
I just
Go
want to
ahead.
Hold on,
respond
brother.
to
In reality, we are the majority.
hold
But
on.
who controls the money?
Hold on, brother.
We
Now,
was
who
literally
controls the
sold
money?
as slaves and we was able to get to this
Hold
point
on. Let me
without help
respond
from
to M. Let
anybody.
me respond to M real quick,
Now,
right? Because M
now,
said
do we
that
control the money
people
on
were.
earth?
Hold on, brother. Hold on. I want to respond to M real quick because M sat here. He said that certain African people were pro slavery.
It was more than it was that wasn't. That's why you was able to do it. Because if it was more people that was
You're
against it
lying.
than it
M,
was
let me
for it,
finish. M,
it would have
let me
been
finish what I
stopped.
gotta say. M, let
Like
me
Amos
finish what I
Wilson
gotta say.
said, you had the
Well,
power to do anything.
you're just rambling now. Let him respond.
Okay, so for example, the Mali Empire have a thing called Kurukan Fuga, which pretty much was human rights to every citizen that lived in Mali. But what happened was Mali was so massive. Like for example, you had the Tuaregs, right? The Tuaregs was going around. They were kidnapping people and they was enslaving people, and they were shipping them off. So even when they had that law, they couldn't stop everyone. Just like you have with today. What do we have today, guys? We have human trafficking, right? Can it all be stopped? No. So the same problems that they had back then is the same problems that we have right now. So no, Mali did not participate in that because it was banned.
Who
So
mentioned Mali?
I'm not going to. You sat here. You said that the whole continent was involved, and that's not true. What
I
you said.
said it was a power differential between
You
more
sat
people
here and
pro-slavery than it
you
was
sat
less. There was
here.
less
You
people
sat
against it than it
here.
was for
You
it. That's why I
sat
was able
here.
to
You sat
start and
here.
continue.
You sat here.
If it was
You
more
said
people
that people
against
were
it, they would have
pro-slavery.
overpowered the
No,
ones
it's
that was
not.
doing it like
That
they
is
did in
not true.
Liberia.
That was not. Listen, you have, for
It's
example,
about
right?
power.
No. For example, right?
Dynast, can
What
I
did they
come
do?
in?
Hold on. No. Hold on.
No,
Before I'm
man,
hold on.
sake, you got 30 seconds. Got to pass it to city. You just
Okay.
hurry up and
Let me
land.
respond to him, right?
Too
Just
much
like
out
how
of the
back
topic.
then, you
We are not on the
had people
topic.
that were going. Yo, who's talking?
But
Okay,
man,
so
sake,
this.
guys, don't interrupt the man. Say you got 45 seconds. Got to pass it to city.
Okay, all right. So just like they had back then, that you have, for example, the Europeans that was funding what's his face, certain groups with weapons and stuff. Guess what? The same thing happens today. You know what they call it? It's called proxies. For example, you see what's going on in the AAS? How do you think 12,000 went and invaded in Mali? Those are called proxies, right? So the same thing happened back then. No one didn't sit there and freaking was pro-slavery. That sounds crazy. I can't speak for every country, but I can speak for the Mali Empire. They was not pro-slavery. They were pro-sovereignty. They respected everyone, even male,
Explain
female,
Gory Island.
all that.
Oh yeah.
I'm
And
talking about the
yeah.
Mali Empire, bro.
I never mentioned the Mali Empire.
You sat here. You said there was more people that were pro.
All right, y'all. I got to pass the mic to city. Go ahead, city.
Hey, Dynast. Hi,
Go ahead.
everybody. Yeah. So my thought on why African Americans believe that Africans are taking over their properties, they are buying businesses. We live in an open capital market system, right? So if you have the resources to buy business, to manage it, yeah, you have all right to manage it, right? So, and I live in Harlem, so I see a lot of time African Americans when he's selling their property, they will not sell it to African. They will prefer selling it to the Jewish people. So if you see a lot of African in Harlem, they will tell you, say, well, we bought our properties either from the Jewish or from the Chinese or the Koreans, right? So having direct business contact with African Americans specifically in Harlem, I've not seen it before. I'm not saying it's not there, but every negotiation that I've heard about, that have taken part in, either you buy it from the Jewish person when they buy the brownstone, they renovate it, the Africans will put money together and buy it. So saying that we taking over businesses for African American doesn't make sense. First of all, who have more access to resources, right? Who have more cash? So the only businesses that's standing up in Harlem is Magic Johnson Theater, all these NBA players that you guys have, all these rich people, Harlem is being taken over. And it was through who? People that charged Rango, that were representative, that sold all these properties to white folks. When a few was said to African. But because it being some sort of self-hatred, and now that's why they're saying, well, Africans are taking over properties. And I want to respond to Pastor King. First of all, you can't just look at whole corporation to say they are failing. You have no knowledge how to analyze the balance sheet of a corporation. There are businesses that may not be generating revenue for 2 years, but their bottom line is profit. They still make profit on the income statement, and they still have enough cash to pay their employees. So if you come with a general statement like that, you have no knowledge. Let us say, for example, Apple right now, right? Apple been struggling with revenue for years. Only when they came out with iPhone 17, they started generating revenue. But when you look at their balance sheet, they have enough cash. They're making profit, but it's struggling when it comes down to revenue. That doesn't necessarily mean they
Then
feel
why
it,
didn't SS
right?
Fest owe
So,
almost $2 million
well,
last year?
but that's what it's normal. That's a
No,
normal
that's not
system of
normal. That's
business.
failure.
Business can have the
That is
net loss,
that
but
is
that
for
doesn't mean it's not
failure.
functioning. You have no knowledge on that. I'm
And
not
it's
going
not,
to do that.
and that means SS Fest and SS is not functioning under whose quote unquote leadership.
All right, you go and show the balance sheet of Apple to anybody if they've been making profit. And maybe you understand it. You have to look for someone who can analyze that number for you. You have no knowledge.
Question: Who's running
But
SS?
this is my
right
time.
now?
Let me finish, then you will give me
Also,
questions.
now you. But wait a minute. You say I
No,
don't know.
because
but you answer
you're not everything that you say make no sense. You just say they just feeling.
It's a straightforward
Based on what
question.
number? What is the number? What are you basing on your number on? Is it
2 million
revenue?
owing close
Is
to
it a
$2
net
million.
profit?
You think
Is it a
You
cash?
think that's success?
Are they able to pay their employees? They have
Hold on,
enough cash to pay.
You think
So you
owing
don't you
$2
have no
million
how to
is a sign
analyze
of success?
businesses. It doesn't make sense. Right now,
Owing $2
when I
million
tell you
is a
say
sign of success.
Nvidia stock is falling, does that mean
Nvidia
Nvidia
and
don't have
Essence is not
money?
the same thing.
No.
You can't compare the two.
This dude comparing
So
Essence to Apple and
your point
Nvidia.
is
That's
not
That is
making
crazy.
a
no sense on when
retarded.
you come
That
down
is a
comparison.
retarded red
So
herring
that's what
argument.
let me finish. So that's what I would
If you
say.
owe $2 million
And
to the IRS, is that a
and,
form of success?
and I
If you,
believe.
hold
Listen,
on.
man.
If you personally owe $2 million to the
Dennis, this
IRS,
guy
would
taking
you
all my
consider
time.
that
Let me
being
finish, then you
dishonest?
can talk. Let me finish my time, then you can talk. Whatever you want to do.
CD, you do realize you were doing the same thing to him, right?
Okay, yeah. So, but now let him give me break. So, I mean, he was interrupting me constantly, and I'm not giving
Well, you
enough time
mentioned me, and
to
I
right.
interject the point
So, but
out
I was
where
just
you
responding to what
basically
you're
spitting
saying.
BS.
It make no sense.
No, you're making
If
no
you make
sense.
so, like, just go and meet a CEO and tell the CEO,
You're
oh,
trying to
this
tell
business is
me.
struggling, and the
That's
CEO
like
asks you,
urinating
oh,
on someone's leg to
what your
tell them he's
analysis is
All
green.
right, I
based
got
on.
passport king. CD, you got a minute. Then I gotta pass the mic to
So
Amar.
the CEO asks you what your analysis is based on when you say business is failing. If you don't give me the exact number, whether it's based on the net profit or the revenue or the cash flow, it will make no sense to anybody. You can just come with the empty statement like that. It makes some unnecessary statement that make no sense, right? That's why sometimes I think that the black people that went to Liberia is completely different from the black people that are in America. I will say this because for them, they function very well like a society, and they got along very well, and they were able to build, right? And when everything was taken away from them in Liberia, that's why most of them decided to go to Israel because the mentality is not even the same. Even the remaining ones that are in Liberia, when you interact with them, it's completely different from
Don't dig yourself in a hole,
the
man. Don't
black
even
people
talk about
here.
it.
I will say this because they build whole institutions and they were highly educated and they build businesses. But when I listen to some of these guys, the way you analyze things, it's completely different from how these guys think back home. It's completely different, right? The Tobo family, the Todman family, or the Paco family in Liberia, they are well informed. They don't even come here. So if you making this kind of empty statement, make sure you know what you're saying. You can't just
All right, I
say
gotta
things
read the
like
super
that.
chats and I gotta read the super chats past the mic. Pape 5602, thank you for $5 holla. SS Fets dog, you own 4.7% to 11.4% of USA wealth. How are you going to buy homes, own lumber yards, own airlines, own skyscrapers? Wake up. Say James, thank you for $5 holla. City Passport King knows nothing about financial statements. All right, go ahead, Amar.
Hello, how everybody doing?
Good.
Okay. I just want to say, first things first, changing the Essence Festival that has been historic to Black Americans, and they used to a certain way and certain way of handling things, and they got built up clientele that they lean on. So just change it to from an Black American thing to an African thing is wrong. But as an African, I gotta say this: this is a wake up call to the Black people who want to gatekeep. If you want to gatekeep, you just don't limit it to talking on the internet. You see what I'm saying? You got to come up with a fundraiser. You gotta hire people that one.
Thank you, St. James.
Listen. That one could go. I'm not saying James. This is Amara. My name is Amara. And number one thing, go around looking for Black businesses that you care about, and that you can gatekeep. That's one. Two, come up with a fundraiser where you can put up the money to protect Black, if you care that much, if you're serious. Because the way you guys talk, I don't know if it's just talking or you're really serious. You see what I'm saying? Complaining is not going to do it. You either build a parallel system, an alternative to all this, because to me, if you make an Essence Festival, if I was a competitor, that's a bad business plan. I'm an African, I'll say that. Because if somebody comes, I buy a business, I buy all their clientele. You see what I'm trying to say? They took a while to build up that clientele. So you just don't change things around. You start from scratch. That doesn't really make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, that's stupid business.
That's a bad business plan. But Black America, if you really serious, you gotta have a fundraiser. You gotta have some kind of see this why Martin Luther King, Jesse Jackson, and all those other people are missing, because they'll galvanize the troops, go from state to state, go to any workforce, pitch this idea of protecting, gatekeeping historic Black businesses. But there's nobody doing that. All I hear is on the internet. There's nobody putting up their dollars. There's no people looking for a headhunting farm that could recruit people that could go about this. There's nothing like that being done. You can't just be doing it by getting mad about other people. I say other people is not only Africans. Africans just got to be put in the mix. You know, like that. BET is a white-owned company. In fact, if you want to do, the thing I admire about Black people is if they don't, like somebody says something about they won't sell it to you. You make a parallel plan. You already got your people. It's easy to have a counter company and say, hey, Black people, stop going to these historic Black places. Just come over. I got my own company. We can do what they was doing. That's what businesses do. You know, you steal their clientele. You already got the clientele are already Black people. You know, you create a company and take all those people, move all those people over. It might not be called Essence, or you call it My Essence, or Black Essence, or Regional Essence, or something. But you create a whole company from scratch and steal their clientele. You see what I'm trying to say? But you got to be serious about this. You got to be serious about gatekeeping. It costs money. You got to put a structure in place. People got to put their dollars and time up. If you're really serious about gatekeeping, that's what it is. It's not an African thing. Just the same thing the African guy seen an opening, Korea, Japanese, white, all those people see an opening. They'll be like, well, they're weak competitors. If I go in, I could grab this. But you got to come up with a counter punch. A counter punch is I'm going to steal all your clientele. I'm going to have a company where we're going to do something similar on the same line. In matter of fact, even the same day you doing your event. Across the street, you rent a building.
From your
Can I
perspective, you
respond real
don't
quick?
understand our history and the reason we had an Essence.
Right, you don't understand what I'm
white people had magazines that wouldn't feature black people.
Essence went out of business, man.
Hey, guys,
It was
hold
the
on.
reason why we
I
had
got
Essence.
hold on, guys. I'm talking. Shout out to City for the $20, Zelle. Appreciate you, City. All right, go ahead.
No worry, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. You can steal all their clientele and do things run by blacks all through a black. Even this FBA thing Tariq is running. All right? To me, it's a concept. It really hasn't impressed me because if you really want to be impressive, you build a structure in place. Real organization where people on the payroll, you pursue this thing to the fullest. You see what I'm trying to say? You got to take a leap. You got to step up your game.
You preaching to the choir.
Next level. Bro, it's not preaching to the choir. I got a business. You got a business. I take your clientele.
But your business wasn't started doing Jim Crow.
It doesn't matter if you started or not. You said it
These
yourself.
businesses that they are acquiring was started doing Jim Crow.
Somebody doesn't sell it to you. Okay, let me say you want to buy a
Back
black
then,
group
you couldn't purchase a business like that. It had
this
legal racial doctrine. You can even purchase a house in certain neighborhoods in Chicago because they say in their doctrine you can never sell this house to a Negro or a Mongolian. They still got houses with those doctrines in it right now. So even if you had the money, you can't even go in that neighborhood and purchase a house.
Let him talk. I mean, let Amar.
Yeah, you can have a parallel business, man. Do the work, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. But business is, you know what bankruptcy is? Bankruptcy, right? You got historic companies that are bankrupt today. People buy their names. You see what I'm trying to say? The key is you have, what they don't allow you to buy, you have a counter company. A company that runs parallel as the same thing. So people can move and make a lateral move. You can steal anybody's clientele, it's anybody's game. And in fact, you got a leg up because you're black.
Amar, you got 30 seconds. Gotta pass the recorder.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. You got to get serious about this. That's all I'm saying.
All right, go ahead, Rokoya. And Rokoya, you've been ducking me, Rokoya. You've been ducking me. I feel a certain way.
I'm not. You should make time for a chat, and I'll tell you exactly what's going on. I've been so busy.
Rokoya, your sound is like muffled and like you don't sound clear.
Yeah, it must be my mic, but I'm going to try it and then I'll come in again because I don't know why. Can you guys hear me?
You're muffled.
Okay, I'll come back. I'll go in and come back out.
Okay. Guys, hit the like button again. Please hit that like button. Make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. Make sure you go to donfo.africa again. Oh, wrong button. Almost messed that up. Make sure you visit donfo.africa and stream the documentary. All right, go to donfo.africa, click on documentary, and stream the documentary, you guys. Everyone who's watching this, if you have not supported about the documentary, go and buy the documentary. You stream.
I got a question about that documentary.
Go ahead.
So why the documentary?
I purchased the documentary for $10, right? And I tried to log back in, and it's like I didn't know what. I got the payment on my account, but I don't know if I could just still go in and see it.
Yeah. You just gotta it's yours forever.
Okay.
You gotta log back in. You can reset your password. You just log back in and watch it.
So Dynast, you got to go on your website and pay for it.
So click on documentary. You pay for it there, then you get access to it. You set up a login. You can watch it. Log in wherever you're at and watch it.
I'll do it right now. We got to promote you, bro. We got to promote you.
I appreciate it, man.
Yep.
I appreciate it. Hey, go ahead, George. George still on? Oh, George fell off.
Can I say something real quick,
Hold on one second. My sister, something's wrong with your device. You're not connecting for some reason. It might be your mic, Maya, or it might be your camera. So I don't know, but you're not connecting. All right, go ahead. Somebody said they wanted to say something.
I'll say
Yeah,
something.
I want to say something to surprise you, Sierra Leone, boss. I got something for you, but I'm gonna keep it on the wraps right now. I'm working on it.
Yeah, but the brother that just spoke, I think Amaru, how is that a bad business proposition when Essence went down? So basically, BET, when it was purchased or whatever, originally from Bob Johnson, it was still a very strong, popular company. Essence was going bankruptcy, which means it was losing popularity. So when he purchased it, he tried to expand the base, keep the similar base, and expand the base to a larger black market, which kind of sort of makes sense. But the way he did it was bad or whatever. But
Okay, let me ask
makes
you.
sense.
Let me ask. What's the core business? The common demographic of Essence is what? Black people, right?
Yeah, but he didn't shift from that. He didn't shift from it.
No, well, no, you don't understand what I'm trying to say.
He's trying to say that the African American market is the primary base, so it was foolish for him to try to
Because
quote
they're
unquote
pushing
expand it.
African American, Black American products. It's a black that had an appeal. All you need to do is bring in new management, tweak it around, but the concept is the same. You see what I'm trying to say?
It was a defunct
That's
company
the
though.
exact reason why it fell, because they tried to change it and
No, you don't change. You
That's
don't
the
change it.
exact reason why it fell.
It
what you
shouldn't be
just said.
changed. It
He didn't
shouldn't
really
be
change
changed.
it. He just add certain elements to it.
What? No, it didn't work. If it was experimental, then you go back to the drawing board. Go back to the roots. This doesn't work to save the company.
That we
I get you,
agree.
but you
That's
got to
why
keep
it
in mind it
fell.
was a defunct company. So whatever what they were doing before wasn't working because people were losing interest. So you got to keep that in mind.
Yeah, but
And the same,
when you have new management and the Black Americans and your core people, you tweak and try to gain their attraction back. Whatever they were attracted to, you want them to get it back. You got to come up with a plan, and this African plan is not working. You got to find a way. It's deeply rooted in Black Americans themselves. I don't know if they're distracted by social media, because back then when it started, there was no social media. I don't know if social media have taken most of the Black people's attention or something. You got to research this thing, and your core base is still Black people. You got to use another vehicle to get to them. That's what I'm trying to say.
They
But
definitely
don't lose essence.
abandoned the
That's
youth.
what
They didn't really appeal to the youth, so that's probably why they failed.
That's what I'm trying to say. I see demographics change as the Gen X and Gen Z they change. You got to come up with fresh new products that could appeal to them. But the core still is still Black people. It's still Black people. That's why when you bring in new management, you gotta get your people back.
Hey, somebody mentioned he tried to appeal to a greater audience.
We have a new
my fault.
We have somebody new on the panel. Maya sisters, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I just want to keep my comments brief. I am what would be categorized as FBA. And personally, I am not bothered by Africans or African immigrants purchasing Black American institutions. And the reason for that is because, unfortunately, this lies at the fault or at the feet of many of our elected Black leaders. They did not provide the funding for FBAs to purchase many of these institutions.
Thank you, sis. Thank you.
I don't know if you all are aware of this, but there is a federal program. It's called the Minority Grant Program. The Minority Grant Program provides funding to minorities, which is a problem in its of itself, because anyone these days can be considered a minority if they're non-white. Now, 93% of the federal minority grant program goes to a specific group. Would anyone like to tell me what group? 93%
White women.
White women.
Yeah, he beat me to it. Had to be white women.
Yeah,
Minorities always been a trick bag language, bait and switch. That's nothing new.
absolutely. And what have our federal elected leaders done about this? You know, nothing. They have allowed former Speaker Nancy Pelosi to empower and enrich white families, taking our votes at the expense of foundational Black Americans. Now, the last time I was on your show, Dynast, I talked about the buffer group. The buffer, there are numerous buffer groups that whites use. Sometimes the buffer group for low-income Blacks is Hispanics. For middle-class whites, what we're finding, it's the Indians. And then oftentimes the buffer group can be Black immigrants or other immigrants against foundational Black Americans. So it's not, I'm not upset. I am a huge supporter of capitalism, but I just would like to say, and regarding the Essence Festival, Mr. Richelieu, Dennis Richelieu, he made an enormous pig-headed business decision. Anyone who purchases a business knows the first priority is to protect the brand. The brand was providing services to foundational Black Americans. It's not to say he can't grow it, but it could have been done in a different way so he could have retained the brand and public confidence in the company. Right now, the brand is tarnished. Once you tarnish your brand, it is very difficult to restore your consumer base and your confidence. Think about Budweiser and their transgender, and I'm not knocking transgender, but Budweiser took a huge public relations backlash because they had tarnished there was a perception that they had tarnished the brand. So this is something that I find that many Africans who purchase these historically Black institutions, they want to bring in their African culture, but they have to realize you must preserve the brand and customer loyalty. So so I'll end here, and if anyone wants to comment and I can respond or answer questions.
I have a question for you, sis.
I just said what you just said. I'm a moderator. I just said what you just said. That's a
So
bad business.
May I ask you a question? Some of these individuals, they come from HBCUs and different institutions that are already Black run, right? Why isn't there more African American and African or African American Caribbean partnerships to make a smoother transition? Why is it why is there no accountability for the African American elites to bridge the gap?
You know what? I believe there should be. I don't know why that is. You know what? I do know why it is. Many of I call the low-income Blacks call them bougie. The upper class Blacks call them boule, and I will just use the term boule. The boule Blacks, they are more concerned with self-enrichment than they are with providing community uplift, which is what many of these institutions were. That was the original mission of the institutions. Are you all aware of this? Howard University, their president earns an annual salary of about $1.3 million.
Oh, Lord.
The annual salary of Harvard president, we're talking Ivy League, theirs is about $1.7 million. Now, You have an HBCU that's struggling financially, whose students come into that school and they are burdened down with student debt. Why are you paying their administrators the equivalent of a salary of a white Ivy League school? It just does not make any sense. And the reason for that is so the boule can get theirs. It's a money grab for many of them. Our institutions are a money grab. They are no longer, they have long departed their mission, and that's part of the problem. And so so the Black grassroots needs to take over and say it's time to return our historically Black institutions to their original mission, and that is racial uplift of, you know, of all people, not just the boule class. I hope that answered your question.
I would say this, if I can.
Well,
I
let,
would.
let me pass it to Rokoya. Let me read the super chat and pass it to Rokoya first. Baba Liko 9354, thank you for the holla. What you talking about? White gay women will be considered a minority. They also get contracts. Correct. Go ahead, Rokoya.
Sure. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Good. Thank you. I wanted to write off of what the lady just said. And I'm trying to make this more of a general thing. I mean, FBA for one has spent the last 2, 3, 4 years delineating itself, trying to more or less separate itself as a subculture within the larger American culture, largely because, you know, I think one factor they're using is slavery. I mean, being descendants of slaves and all that. But really, what they are is a subgroup within the American culture itself. And we know that the American culture, it's a capitalist culture. It values growing wealth and protects that wealth that is grown. Now, having said that, what I don't understand is why then the FBA group would take any kind of position where another Black group or another a person or a grouping or individuals from the diaspora, Africans or Caribbeans, who then raise funds or raise capital to acquire these institutions, which by and large continue to grow the narrative of Black people in general. Because I'm saying this to say, look, I'm back here in California, right in the middle of the Silicon Valley. I've had some meetings here the last few days I got here. The companies that are making it, and I'm talking about these partnerships that for some reason, I don't know what's wrong with African, Black people, African descendants. We just don't get it. Because every person can see that the way that this globe is moving right now involves partnering outside the hegemony of America. Everybody knows it. It's no longer a secret. And FBA people are in a position, whether they like it or not, to connect to the larger diaspora because that's where the money is moving to. That is where the strategies are moving to. How do we acquire and hold on to resources, oil, gold? I mean, all these things that are happening is an attempt to corner certain resources. And the richest continent with the most dire need for manpower is Africa. And yet, you guys turn your back. You don't want the Africans to partner with you. Some Africans, really can come up with the funds and build these institutions. Don't care whether the narrative is to move forward or to recognize history. All of that can be negotiated in partnering. But for some reason, and I think there's something that has happened to us as Black people. I'm continental African, and I'm talking about myself too. There's something that we just can't read the tea leaves and move in that direction. So it seems for the last 500 years, we're just running out in circles. We're not understanding power, what this global power is post Rome 2.0, how the power is grabbed. We refuse to do it. And the few African American FBA people some of whom I met when I was here, they're smart. They're the ones going to be partnering with the Africans, moving AI technology, building things. And I'll leave it at that, because it really drives me crazy when I hear this type of talk. Because I'm in certain rooms, the Chinese, the Indians, they're all partnering, trying to make these moves. I'm back in Africa, started a company, I'm making these moves with people. And we talk on these platforms like we're children, we're infants, whining. Oh, why are they getting our institutions? What would you rather have a Jew person get that institution? I'll land my boat here. Thank you.
Yeah, Dennis.
Dynast, can I make
I
a
will say
quick
this,
30
right? So
second
the
reply to
FBA,
her?
the
Can I make a quick
FBA.
before he goes, can I make a quick 30
So
second reply, Dynast?
no, I'm next, guy. Please.
I
So
thought
I just want
I thought me,
to.
CD, you done talked about 5 times.
No, I just came in.
That's true, you
Please,
know.
I've been up for a few seconds now. So yeah, so what the lady is saying, FBA is invisible. We don't even. First of all, nobody know about these guys. It's just like
Oh, that's
0.00%,
lies.
right?
That's
Nobody know
lies.
their function.
Easily
They have
debunked.
no knowledge on how to create business. First of all, let us take the example, right? If you look at Starbucks right now, right? Starbucks was struggling, but that does necessarily mean that
Then they tell
they don't have cash,
Passport King to get
right?
back on topic when he talked about the
So
Chinese.
I'm just giving you an example. What Starbucks did, they went, they hired the CEO of AAA, right? And now they are back on track. They are moving up. So if you say a business could not generate a revenue for 2 years and is failing, then you have no knowledge of business. And how many
Excuse me.
percentage of
Hold on. Wait,
African
stop.
businesses
Wait,
are failing like that?
wait.
Because
You
you
see
have
on the
no
map?
knowledge on how to run
Wait. This is
business.
your
That's all he
problem.
doing.
This is your problem in diaspora. Y'all like to filibuster.
Because you
Let me
have
ask
no
you this. Hold
knowledge.
on.
You have no knowledge. You
No. This is
just make a
relevant. Hold on.
general
This
statement
is relevant to
that
what you
this
just said. Hold
business
on.
is failing,
Here's
and
a
even
simple.
if
Hold on. You
1%
see,
of the
you don't
entire
see.
business, you have no
This is when I
knowledge on
know
how
you're
to run
talking
business.
BS because you just want to babble and you don't want to listen. You want to answer a simple question. You just
Because
hold on.
tell me when you say that this business is failing, what your
on. No.
analysis is
Okay.
based on?
Well, okay. Hold on.
What is based on?
Okay.
It would be on
CD,
which
why are you so
number?
concerned about this business?
On which number?
Guys,
Is it based on the
Is it
revenue?
because you're both
Is it based on the cash
Liberians?
flow? Is it based on the
Hold on.
profit?
You
When
need
you
to
say
take a
business
breath
is
and
failing,
listen.
what is the
Because
bottom line? Which part of the balance sheet are you looking at when you say business is failing? Because you have no knowledge. You just hear it from social media and just to take that and come here and talk about something. You don't have no knowledge on how to analyze numbers. So stop making those general statements. Business sometimes they fluctuate in terms of revenue, they fluctuate in terms of profit, they fluctuate in terms of cash flow. They sometimes have to go to bank and furnish their payroll.
He's what
That doesn't
Tariq call
necessarily
them
mean
a
they're failing
professional time
because you have no
wasters.
knowledge.
That's what he's called.
Right. But then you come here and say, well, African bought a business from African American and now they change the whole culture and it's
You're
failing.
not
But
really
you're
adding
not
any
failing.
insight. You just repeating the same talking
No, but
points.
City's right. Basically,
You have no knowledge.
we're fresh out of COVID, the jab period. So there was a lot of people sitting home. He already purchased Essences around that time. So that's already a
Unilever,
default
you
loss, right?
listen. Unilever purchased Essence. Richelieu owns nothing. He's just a puppet for Unilever. Look it up.
All right, so why do you have more smoke for him who attempt to at least purchase something or look like he purchased something
He's a
than
puppet
for
for
black
Unilever, who
when
owns
Jay-Z, hold
Nigeria
on,
for one. By
when
the
Jay-Z
way,
buy a house
Unilever
for
owns
15 million, hold on.
Nigeria.
When Jay-Z buy a house for $15 million and don't even live in it, only one time a year he come around and live in it, you don't say nothing.
I
When
want
Rick
to
Ross
answer
got a
the
car
question.
collection for $15 million,
Hold on,
and
I
you
want to
see
answer
that,
the
you clap their
question
hands for that, right?
that a
So
person
why don't you have
asked.
the same kind of smoke for those kind of people
Hold on.
that you
I
have
want
for
to answer.
Africans and Caribbeans?
I want to answer a question that was asked, like why shouldn't they have more coalitions to transition? If they do purchase a corporation, they should have some type of partnership with FBA. And a woman asked in I would say a self-deprecating way, like instead of just blaming it on us, like it's the boule. I don't think that's genuine because the college, the HBCUs done accepted many thousands of Africans over here. Even Osei Duke Jackson video, he said that they actually funded the Africans in places like Tuskegee, Lincoln, who, by the way, educated Kwame Nkrumah. The onus should be on the Africans. They should be looking for
not true.
coalitions, but they
Not
don't.
true.
We always been trying to. We done educated most of your world leaders. In Chicago, Tinubu from Nigeria went to a black school, a black college, Chicago State.
Why would I want to partner with someone like African who have no knowledge
Exactly.
of
You want to
business?
benefit, but you don't want to partner. You want to get the benefits and go partner with the white man like Richard. I mean Dennis Richelieu. Partner with Unilever.
What about the African American elites that stack
I mean,
their
that's our
money,
business,
don't
our
give a
country.
damn about your community?
It's our country. We
$15
can do what we
million
want to do in
for
our
a whole lot
country.
of
We
things
can have
in Philadelphia,
elites.
Baltimore.
When you come to somebody else's country, you don't get to do what we do.
What?
Our elites can do what they want to do.
So
you
so
are
you're,
a
you
guest.
say hold on. See, that's a double standard. So you're black
You are a
elites.
guest in our country.
Hold
We
on,
always had elites.
No. Your black elites could do whatever they like. I said,
Yeah,
you
because
guys
it's our
got the
country.
no pocket watch.
When you come here and you want to get in where you fit in, y'all do get in where you fit in when you come in our institutions and join our fraternity like Kamala Harris, and then you turn your back on us.
Yeah, but what about your elites? What about the African American
They always had elites. What you talking about? You got elites in Africa.
buying watches and cars,
All these
buying
billionaires
little
in Africa.
islands or whatever that you don't care about? But the foreign black that come here, you
This
you
is not your country. You come here. What do you think? You got the same rights that we do in our country? Yeah, you crazy? We could have told you no.
Hold on. If you guys
We don't
are the
have to let
majority,
you here. We can
and
just
you guys
tell you
got
no.
the most connections, if you guys got the most institutions,
our country.
and y'all not using them, then you're a contradiction, bro.
We've been acquiescing to your people and letting y'all get opportunities that we should have been giving to our own people.
That's what you basically saying.
Anybody
And now
can be
you're giving us
American.
your ass to
It's
kiss.
not even something to boast of that you're
CD,
American.
you
It's not something
joined
to boast of.
a black organization called Black Engineers, and you got your job because of that. And now you talking greasy about black people, the same people that got you your first job.
But what I told you was it was
You have
meant
no
for
appreciation.
minorities,
You didn't get no.
right?
There's no black engineer organization in Liberia. You came to America and joined our organization. No, accounting. My fault. Not engineering. Accounting. Black Association of Black Accountants that you joined.
Your organization is hired by Chinese, and they all call themselves minorities. So
It's
why
a black organization of black accountants that you joined.
It's
That you
held by
said,
Chinese. It's
and you
dominated by
benefited.
Chinese and Japanese. So
I mean,
you
they
wanna
could
come
join.
after
We let
Africa.
people join our organizations. That's our problem. We should be gatekeeping more. We don't gatekeep. The lady said we do. Our black, the boule allow blacks in our fraternities. How you think Kamala Harris is AKA?
All right, so what's the agenda though? You keep skipping over that fact. And what Brother George was saying earlier,
whatever our agenda is got nothing to do with a foreign African.
1930, 1920, when foreign blacks came here, there was a black American agenda. What is the
in the 1950s? The Black American agenda was to end Jim Crow, and we accomplished that. We accomplished ending Jim Crow segregation. What you talking about? Our other agenda was to end slavery. What have you accomplished?
2026. We're talking 2026. What is the 2026 Black American agenda? There was one back then.
Delineation. We separating from all of the parasites who haven't contributed nothing. That's what O.J. Jackson said. Y'all have done nothing for us.
No knowledge what he's saying. He just
you haven't returned anything.
You be coming at Africans, but you in the Nation of Islam. Farrakhan is well connected in America, well connected in Africa. How many letters did you write to Farrakhan about Africa?
Farrakhan is a tether.
Oh,
Farrakhan did not start the Nation of Islam. He's a tether.
You in his organization.
Look, Farrakhan built nothing in Chicago. He destroyed all of what Elijah Muhammad built.
When Elijah Muhammad's son tear down the Nation of Islam, it's Farrakhan who built that shit back up and silenced Muhammad.
It's not built back up. Where are the temples at? We had temples in every state. Where they at?
What?
That
was Farrakhan's son who broke that shit down.
What are architectural firms that Farrakhan sold the airport? He sold the airplanes. Farrakhan sold all of the restaurants. He sold all of the grocery stores.
That was Elijah Muhammad's son.
Farrakhan did that.
But then who
ever
talk everybody against everybody? Who
CD, what have you given back? What have you given back to the people who helped you? What have you given back?
You talk against everybody, I don't understand.
All I have to say, there is there's Black Americans, there's FBAs on the continent prospering, doing well
with their own money. We have to come with 500,000 to Ghana. You give us nothing. Like, where is the land that you have given? Israel gave us more land than Africa.
Let me finish. Yeah, both sides. Yeah, both sides, vice versa. Yeah, on the continent prospering. O'Shea Q Jackson is one of them. Yeah, and the world is
with his own money.
Look. The world, no. Like, there's revenue. Yeah, when you go into business, the revenue comes from where you're at. So he's
He said he
generated
gets most of his
revenue.
money from his American viewers, his
But
American
he's still
followers.
generating revenue, though, isn't
I was
he?
going
He's
to say
still
this earlier, as far as essence and trying to appeal to African and a continent. $1 dollar is worth estimated between 1,300 and 1,600
no.
nairas. So that means one Essence magazine will cost them 100,000
correct,
nairas.
yeah,
They
and you've
cannot
got your
afford
business
our
well
products.
established, you can make a lot of money and you can
Africa
flourish.
can't afford our products.
You can do better than people overseas. Yeah, people overseas
That
in the
dollar over
States.
there is so weak because they stole $600 billion. It
That's
would
changing.
be
That
irrelevant to
is
try to
changing. Do you
market
understand?
American
But
products
what
to
I'm trying to say
Nigeria.
to you, there's Africans on a continent doing
I
well
don't want to hold up the
in
time, bro.
America, and there is Americans, yeah, who have established, yeah, on the continent.
Look, you don't have to
doing
be
well
here.
as well. So all
You
this that
don't
you're
have to be
saying.
here. This is not your country.
Guys. I gotta read the super chat. I gotta read this. I have to read the super chats. Let's see here. My bad, guys. I got to step away and make Masters dinner. Let's see here. Joshua Stevenson, thank you for the 1334 holla. Thank you for the 999 holla. Why are people blaming Africans instead of blaming the original Black American owners who are less than concerned with preserving the integrity of Essence for Black Americans? Haitian Moore, thank you for $2 holla. The majority of blacks are socialist communists. KJ6998, thank you for $1.99 holla. 85% of FBA do not care about conducting business. Summer, none other baddie, thank you for $2 holla. FBAs aren't bringing any tech to Africa, laughable. Babaliko 9354, thank you for $10 holla. The white Indian and the Chinese go work with Africans. FBA is all about division. So how can anybody work with them? All I hear from FBA is division. Babaliko 9354, thank you for $10 holla. The white Indian Chinese go work with Africans. FBA is all about division. So how can anybody work with them? All I hear from FBA is division. Joshua Stevenson 1334, thank you for $4.99 holla. FBA as usual just want to find an excuse to be xenophobic to Africans when they should be blaming their leaders who clearly don't care about us. Babaliko 9354, thank you for $5 holla. O'Shea lives in Uganda, enjoying that beautiful Uganda weather, beautiful Ugandan woman. And so what are you talking about? Okay.
So what I'm trying to say, yeah, the world's a competitive place. If you ain't got your S together, someone else is going to step in. And I rather let, someone who is of the same ethnicity as myself, a black person, rather taking over a business than someone who's completely different. Do you understand? So at the end of the day, at least, you can at least have some type of common ground. At least if it's a black person, you can have some type of common ground. So it's a competitive world. That's the way it is. That's the bottom line. You have to have your shit together. That's it.
Dynast, can I chime in real
I'm gonna
quick?
ask one question to M. Let me ask a question, M, please.
Go ahead.
M, what considering that what everybody's talking about, and what plans do you think you can pioneer? I mean, as far as like galvanizing people, fundraising, and do whatever you need to do to gatekeep black institutions. What are you doing? Hello? M?
Oh, he's gone. He left.
Okay.
Edmund's gone.
Okay, so the lady. Also,
M
to the
want
lady.
free stuff. He want free stuff.
No, hold on, CD. Let me ask the lady, the other FBA lady. Besides the government leaning on black politicians to pioneer gatekeeping for black institutions, what are you doing, or what are other people doing to come up with an independent structure that could go out and purchase these institutions, fundraise? They can fundraise if every black person is so concerned about the institution. The sky's the limit. You can pitch with people, and they can come up with a subscription plan where you can galvanize those funding towards putting in a bid anytime a black institution is about to go under, you know? So what are you doing towards that?
Are you directing your question to me?
Yeah, to you, yes.
Okay. All right.
Personally.
Yeah, there's a couple of problems. Number one, our boule, they're just not putting in the effort to try and
Can you
make
give
us.
me a definition of a boule? I'm
Oh,
an African. I'm an African. Is there that went to school? Am
okay.
I the one you're referring to?
In America, particularly foundational Black American, these are our elite members of society. These are typically our upper crust. Martin Luther King would be considered boule. There are organizations that cater to the upper class, such as the Jack and Jill organizations. So just like whites have their exclusive organizations that, you know, or their country clubs, whatever you want to call it, that keep out the commoners. Foundational Black Americans have organizations that seek to retain what they call a particular elite culture. Does that answer your question?
No, because what I live in America. I was born in America. I grew up in Africa. Came back. What I'm trying to say is, these elite people that have so much resources.
They do.
They're individuals too. They're not. Just because they're black does not mean they can part away with their wealth or resources for a cause they don't like, or they don't think helping a community is their thing, you know. So besides leaning on,
Amar, did you ask Maya a question?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm trying to ask.
Well, you got. Are you? Hold on, Maya. Are you done responding?
No, I'm just asking.
Okay. Well, you got. Well, Amar, you got to let her finish.
Okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Amara. Go ahead and finish.
Yeah, I'm asking you individually. What are your efforts individually as you, as a person? Okay, you're well spoken. You could gather crowds. You could galvanize people. You can fundraise. What are you doing individually as a person towards this cause?
Okay. Now, as an individual, I can network with other people. I can write. Okay, here's the problem, Amara, that I don't think you're understanding. The reason why foundational Black American or historically Black, the reason why historically Black institutions are so unstable right now has a lot to do with white interference. Are you aware that in order for many of these HBCUs and other Black institutions, in order for them to receive funding from the federal government, that they have to diversify their boards and their committees? And so that is one particular issue. Now, some of you will say, well, why are you taking federal money? We're U.S. citizens. Why the hell not? Should we not take federal money? Okay, so that's a huge part of the problem. The other part of the problem is our Black political leaders, they have not been forward thinking in terms of this new economy. They were behind the ball, in terms of investing in technology. They're behind the ball in AI. We are just not investing the way we should be in new technology. Now, something that I would like to say to the female who spoke, and I can't remember her name, and I apologize for that.
Okoya. My name is Okoya.
Okoya, I'm so glad you're here, and you raised a wonderful point, and that is, what is going on with the FBA community and their failure to recognize the importance of forming alliances with Africa. Right now, there's just so much anger at the erasure of our history. And that's what many, from what I can tell, listening to FBAs, that's what the anger is right now. I am hoping after, they express their frustrations over the erasure of the history, that they move on to an economic agenda. I don't know if you all are aware, but before Martin Luther King died, he started to talk about economics. That was integration. It was not the path for financial stability. It was economics. And our political leaders have failed to put together a Black economic plan. And I believe that the way to accomplish that is, as she said, is to form those coalitions with Africa. And okay, here is the problem. Right now, there's a perception by many FBAs based upon the news reports, documentaries, what they're seeing on YouTube, that Africa is too chaotic to invest. And it is up to Africa to improve their public image. And so I don't want to be critical or judgmental, but that is the biggest hurdle for Africa in terms of FBA investing. That is the concern, that it's just too chaotic. It is just a lawless
if I can interject, the issue I have with that statement, like you have a point, but the people who will control the image and put the images out there, they're investing in Africa heavily. That's just the problem. That's just the problem I have with that.
That's the key thing, Dynast. Absolutely. And I wanted to add
also, Dynast, can I add?
Hold on. Rokoya is talking. And Maya and Rokoya are talking.
What I wanted to add to what the lady was saying is that, like, it's one thing going on to social media and sort of looking at how the algorithms depict a certain image, not only for Africa to African FBA, but even the FBA to Africa. We also get the same thing. But what I'm saying is, we need strategic thinkers and ambitious people. And I think that what I know of what's happening in the FBA movement right now, they are failing in that sense. They are focusing on, I hate to say this because I'm not an FBA person, but I've lived long enough in the US to know. I've been here so many years, more than I've lived in Africa. But the thing is, listen, when you are serious about understanding the global economy, serious about moving people, then you also have to look at trends. I always tell people this and they laugh. I said, look, I look at what old white men are doing, and that's what I do. And I mean, I say jokingly, but when I make certain moves, because I'm an entrepreneur and I have businesses, I look at what they're doing. They might be saying one thing, but if you're strategic, you don't listen so much to what they're saying. You look at their actions, and all the actions are building alliances, going. I mean, only recently, I don't want to name names, but I was recently just in a space in which this big AI companies they're over in Ghana, Nigeria, Benin, trying to pitch their business modules, their data acquisition models in Africa. And I look in the team, there's no one FBA person sitting in there. When we, the people listening, we want to see Black people in those groups talking to us. You understand? But they won't come in there and talk and try to, find links within the African politicians who are sitting there, they want to be on YouTube talking about you're theta, you're this, you're that. And it sounds to me like, I mean, like we're so, I don't know. I mean, we just lack strategic thinking. And I mean, I see the same about Africans too, and not those that I deal with, but in general. So it's going to take a few people who understand the bigger picture to move up, but it's not going to be on YouTube. And I think that the YouTube social media fad should rather die quick, so that these people disappear, so that serious people who want to really grow the Black identity, grow the Black power can work, because many of them are actually on the ground working already. Thank you.
Can I say something real
I
quick?
think we
Can I
speak
say
from
something?
an emotional. We are quite emotional, you know, when we get to these things, you know, and we need to look at the bigger picture. You know, the bigger picture is power. You know, economic power, and you know, we need to start doing that.
A lot of swings at
Yo,
FBAs, and you're not being balanced and
Passport.
allowing
Can I say something? I'm gonna pass it right to you,
retort.
Passport. My question right to you, brother. Let me ask you a question real quick. Because they're correct about the FBA thing. It's almost a damn near cult, and
No, they're
they
not.
overlook a lot of
No,
elements of
they're
what's
not.
going
But
on in
go
the
ahead,
community.
I'm listening.
I'm gonna ask you a question, Passport, real quick. Right now, South Carolina, I believe everybody love to praise the Gullah Geechee this. Gullah Geechees are getting gentrified. There's regions in South Carolina being gentrified. Where is FBA smoke for the Black elite to help transform and protect South Carolina and the Gullah Geechees they love to praise? Passport King, please tell me.
Gentrification is happening in every city throughout the United States. Don't act like it's just the Gullah Geechees. Black people in Oakland's been gentrified.
No, that's a stronghold though. You guys praise the Gullah Geechees.
Hold on. So
You're
hold
not
on.
answering this guy's question.
Hold on. Hold on. I want to hear the sister talk. Go ahead, Maya.
Okay, in terms of the Gullah Geechee in South Carolina, their congressional congressman is James Clyburn.
Oh Lord.
Okay, and if you're not familiar with him, he has done nothing, absolutely nothing for and they're primarily foundational Black Americans, his constituents. Now, I'm going to say something, and you all may disagree, or you may be surprised by it. When the Supreme Court outlawed minority majority districts, in my opinion, that was the best thing that could happen for foundational Black Americans. Because
Actually, I agree, and I know where you're going with this.
Okay.
Yeah, no knowledge of what she's talking about.
Man, let her finish. Go ahead.
Okay. Dynast, are you familiar with minority majority districts, and would you like to inform your callers?
No, you probably could articulate it better than me. I just know when the Supreme Court, I guess, ruled against it, people were saying, I just know here came, Black folks can't vote. Black folks can't vote. That's all I heard. So I'm gonna let you. The black folks can't vote. They taking us back to the 1800s. Oh Lord, that's all I heard. So
only morons said
I'll let you articulate it. Go ahead, Maya.
Well, I think you pretty much summed up some of the fears. But if you'll notice, the people who are making the loudest noise about the elimination of these congressional seats, they're not the grassroots Blacks. They are our Boule, because they have not lived up to the promises of their office, and that is to improve the lot of the conditions of their residents. Now, there's I think why the FBA movement is so interesting is because, and I am FBA, and there are people who are Black nationalists, there are people who are xenophobic, and then there are people like me who are FBA who want to retain our historical and cultural heritage, where we do not have any animosity or animus towards towards African immigrants or people from Africa. We just want to restore our cultural and historical heritage. Now, I don't know. There's a lot going on the ground because of all of these Supreme Court decisions. And the issue here right now, to explain the Gullah Geechee, James Clyburn has continuously been reelected for close to 20 to 30 years in that seat. It has a lot to do with the FBA baby boomers. They just love Jim Clyburn. He is getting older. That seat is going to turn over. And right now, that seat was protected. But we don't know what's going to happen in the future. And a lot of these congressional a lot of these seats, you're going to have blacks. They're going to be sitting and they're going to ask themselves, I want my voice heard. Do I continue to vote or just throw my vote away with the Democratic Party, or do I vote Republican? And I'm going to say there are going to be some blacks who are going to say, damn it, I'm voting Republican. Now, and that is what's going on right now in the FBA community. You all are witnessing a political shift. The Democrats know they can no longer count on 90% of the black vote, but they need close to 90% of the black vote to win national office. So I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what's going on, but there is a political realignment occurring for foundational Black Americans, and it is a backlash in part for their failure to preserve our historical institutions. And
can I ask you, Miss? I have a quick question for you.
Hold on. No. It's TT. Go ahead, TT.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Like me, I speak from a Bible concept. Okay, that's who I am. And the scripture says, God told the Israelites 3,000 years ago that if you do my commandments, I will put you on top of the world. If you don't, in the future, I will put curses on you. I will send your enemies to come and put you in slavery. The enemies are going to rule the world. You're going to be in last place. Nobody's going to save you until Christ himself comes.
He's never coming back, but go ahead. We got it. We got it now, right there, man. He's not coming, bro.
Yeah.
God damn. If you think a guy named Jesus is coming to save the black race, we in trouble.
Coming back, man. They ain't coming back.
Go ahead and finish, TT. Go ahead.
Christ was nailed to a
cross. No, guys, let TT finish. Go ahead, TT. Go ahead and finish.
They ain't coming back, bro.
Hold on, bro. I can bet my life and my bloodline that he said nobody's gonna save you.
Huh?
Can we take the religion out of this, bro?
No, because everything goes back to the Bible. That's why you don't understand.
We don't want to talk about
because
I don't want to turn this into a religious debate. We got let's take religion out of this.
That's too depressing, bro.
Bible was used to rationalize.
No, just let me
slavery
speak.
is also in the
Just
Bible.
let me speak.
Bro.
Just let me
We not
Let me say my opinion.
Nah, we're not. No, because this is gonna turn to a religious debate. I just don't want to
Yeah.
go. I don't. We did that yesterday somewhat. We're not doing that tonight. We gotta leave Jesus out of this. Go ahead.
All right, Danny, let me give my question. Maybe he's only want to talk about
Oh,
religion.
okay. And
And
CD, do me a favor. Make it a question and not a thesis. Ask your
okay,
question.
all right, okay. Yeah, Miss, the previous speaker. So I have a quick question for you. It looks like your FBA and the other FBA. How many set of FBAs are there right now? Because it sounds like the FBAs you are is different from Passport King. So I want to know the different type of groups. Then in that way I can throw all of them into one basket to say, well, all the FBAs are the same. You sound more positive FBA, which makes
400
sense.
years, we're still in last place. Well, why do you think that?
No, not you,
Wait, what do you
sir.
mean
I'm
more
No,
not
no, no,
asking.
no,
positive?
no. TT, not talking to you.
I mean, 400
That
years. Why do you think we are still in last place?
TT. We're not. We moved on. We moved on. We moved on.
No,
Go
no,
ahead, Maya, if you want to respond.
Yeah, please.
no.
Okay.
I'm telling you the reason why we are
Okay, we
where we
got
at.
we got to move on. Go ahead, Miss Maya.
Okay. Is it Sid? Was he the one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I will be honest with you. I don't know how many or what percentage of FBA represent the people who are considered the descendants of American chattel slavery.
Okay.
I can't answer your question. I don't know.
Okay. But what do you have different name for your group, or you guys are classified to be FBAs?
Well, there are different classifications. Right
Okay.
now, the term FBA is very popular. Before
Mhm.
that, it was ADOS, American Descendants of Slaves. At one point, it was descendants of the um, um, civil rights or the antebellum movement. So there have been different name variations over the years. So there has been attempt to preserve the culture and the heritage of American of descendants of American chattel slavery. So, but I don't know what percentage of Blacks identify as FBA. I can't answer that question.
So your ideology is different from.
I gotta read these super chats. Ms. Z
Okay.
2023. Thank you for that. Holla. Black African immigrants account for approximately 0.7 to 0.8% of the total U.S. population. Should indigenous Black Americans care about these folks? No, they shouldn't, and that's why the focus is on Black immigrants is crazy to me. It's crazy. Babaliko 9354. Thank you for Tanella. Holla. Ms. Z, you're right. Don't care what 0.8% do. Just do your thing, and this is why nothing is done because of this foolish statement foolery. Yeah, I guess I don't know. All
No,
So
right,
man.
so your ideology is.
I gotta pass the mic to Invisible Man. Go ahead,
All right.
Invisible Man.
Hey, I like conversations that deal with economics, and I think that Rokoya made a good statement. I think Sid made a good statement. He used a different term that I would use, but I personally created a economic development company and got a federal nonprofit designation for it. What I found in trying to push this out, I was successful in pushing it out in the city that I'm from. I didn't get any credit for it, and part of that reason is because of what we do in our conversations, is that we divide up into groups, and if our group doesn't get the recognition, nobody's going to get the recognition, and that stops any conversation that might be good for the whole from even going any further. When I say that, I'm specifically speaking about sometimes Democrat and Republican, because they remind me of nothing more than gang mentality, in that we're going to fight because of our colors and nothing else. And what you have to say, regardless of if it can help my my group, I'm not going to accept it because it wasn't put up by one of my people. So when I proposed it, and I proposed this to a guy that I grew up with, he took it to the mayor adopted it in another form. But what Requoya says, so that's just my little frustration in trying to get my economic development corporation accepted, because it divided the city down into groups of economic geographic areas in which I saw money could be made by specific neighborhoods. And so what Requoya said, and I think what Sid said, was to form those group economic developments that they could take in money and sort of act as investment seed money type action. And then they could go along, they could buy real estate, they could invest in startup companies. If your nephew has a good idea and he's making some money along the way, and you see that could be something that could pop, then you could invest in that, right? Also, I think, and I sometimes sound disjunctive, but also that same idea could be transferred where Americans are putting money into an investment group and using that seed money to invest internationally. I've heard, and this is one of the things that I've heard FBA say, no, we're not investing in anything internationally, it's going to stay here. Well, one of the things I think another person said is that we have become so international in the way we do business that you cannot ignore what's going on in these other countries. So if China is investing over in the Congo because the Congo has all the necessary resources that it takes to create your cell phone or your computer, then why aren't we doing it? And I think that's what we need to do. Dynast, I say this all the time, Dynast has a program which people think alike sometimes, but they can't get past this dislike for the group. And so I just think that's where we are. If we could say to ourselves, we have this overall goal. We may disagree on other issues, but our overall goal is to accomplish this economic goal. And we can set aside our differences to reach that goal and still pursue our differences in other avenues, as long as we are going for this one strategic goal. Then we can get to economic power. And economic power is real political power once we get to that point. And so, yes, there is a bit of Pan-Africanism in there that we can adopt. Yes, there is some being nationalistic FBA type thing that we can adopt. And if we get past those things and say, this is our goal, then we'll get there. But I don't see us, I'm sorry to say, I don't see us getting there because of the conversations that we have, like we're having tonight. There's just too much. There's just too many people that have to be, they have to win. They have to be the chief. And there's, I don't want to say hate, but there's dislike going on that prevents people from coming together and accomplishing that shared goal.
Well, that's just 0%. You know, when you look at the percentage wide, and most of these guys that bring all this negativity, they have nothing to show. They have no achievement. So they will discourage other people from doing what they want.
The FBA with no
You know?
pushback. It's been going on for over an hour now.
What'd you say, Passport King?
Now, I was asking Don, is he going to keep allowing these shots to be taken at FBAs with no pushback? Because City was saying some crazy stuff earlier. Now, I already proven and dropped the information to back
Well,
chat.
let me ask this, Passport King. Can I ask you this?
Yes.
Would you like to see FBA become a powerful economic force?
Who wouldn't?
Okay, so
That's
hold
not
on,
a
hold on,
trick
hold
question.
on,
That's the answer is yes.
hold on. Yes. So, Dynast, would you like to see Pan-Africans become a dynamic economic force?
I like to see Black people globally become a dynamic economic force.
But I ask because you say you're Pan-African.
Right, but
So
but that's part of being Pan-African. I want all Black people globally.
Okay, so Gift of God, I have not seen you on here. Would you like to see Africans become an economic force?
I want to see all blacks, become an economic force.
So the answer to the question then is yes. In the people that have different ideas and some different beliefs on the panel. So you got one goal that you need to fight for. Then can you sit in a room and say this one goal is where we need to get to? Now we're going to fight amongst the other things, but as we build this economic powerful engine, we can share some of the spoils, because some of the businesses that we create, invest in, what have you, will generate wealth that can be invested back into your FBA brethren in the neighborhoods here in the United States, and that can also be shared into the some of the African countries that are there. See, a lot of what I hear going on here is that there is people who refuse, they make excuses. And those excuses sometimes get in the way because the boule, that thought process, and Maya was challenged on it. But if you've got the Democrats who only believe, and when I was in law school, I had this debate in law school at Howard University, because I said, look, we have accomplished all of the civil rights things that we should put into play. We have to enforce them. They have to have teeth. We've got it. But if we don't also build along a track that builds business, then we're continually going to be at this level of civil rights. And now look at where we are. We had all that time between the 60s and now to that we had civil rights and we were powerful, and we never built up our economic power. And now the civil rights, some of it is being stripped, and we're crying about the same thing that we cried about in the 70s and 80s.
Very true. Very true.
Information man, Amir here. I just want to say something that in 2026, people think individually.
Yes.
They might have the same complaints, FBA, Pan-Africanist, Africans, whatever. The bottom line is, today everybody thinks as an individual. Mm-hmm. That era of everybody putting everything together, that was in the years past. So it's a new, fresh set of generation, a new set of people thinking, but the problems don't go away. So it's hard. People, when you look at investing, people don't invest in their communities. Africans don't invest in anything back home. They're outside of remittances. And even if they invest in Africa, it's something to benefit them individually. The only person an African person help is their family. And over here in America, Black people and Africans can't even have a roommate to share bills to start off with. This communal thinking, and it's a mismatch with today's reality.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
So I agree
So
with you. I agree with you in that, and that is something that we have to get over it. And I am guilty of it, having gone down this path and saying, all right, fine, I'm not going to do this, trying to build an investment group where I take, $100 a month from investors and I get 100, 200, 500 investors. That becomes a pool over a year's time of $100 a month to $500,000, right? Into which you can make these investments. What you are saying is absolutely true. And that's what I found, right? And that's the frustrating part about it. So what it will take is somebody that has become successful, then everybody wants to jump on their coattails. But that's escapism on my part. If I don't, then if I refuse to try to push the group economic, because the group economic is not necessarily communism or communalism. It's more of an investment vehicle to build wealth. And I think that's where it could be.
the one thing I point out, there's trust issues. That's why
Yes.
today
Yeah.
black-owned businesses or African business, whatever the case is, America black-owned businesses. Let me just put that per se on top. When
but
I
Amara,
moved here, I moved back here when I was 18. Let me explain this. Why I fell in love with Black America back then, because you have all these people, for anything you want to do, they had black companies. And we had this referral program where you bring in other people in, black dentists, black doctors. You make sure everything was lined up black.
right.
But everybody's so selfish, and there are people who, when I mean selfish, two ways. There are people who got over, did not provide the services, and try to think they slick, and they to end up getting a bad reputation, to the point that the good black people that could do business can't survive. People go to Food Lion or Walmart. They go to it's a black like I was talking to this dude the other day. His car went down. I say it's a black place to go over there. He went to the white place, because they say it provide better customer service. That's one. They're more professional. Even when you have even within the companies, they talk about, oh, this is a hood location. You got to go to the white man's location in a white neighborhood. That's why you get the best customer service.
I will
You
agree
see what
with
I'm trying
you.
to say?
I agree with you on the psychological thought process sometimes that we have, and I, funny story is, when I was growing up, my doctor was black, my pharmacist was black. When my brother got into legal trouble, the lawyer was black. Went to a black judge. When I got to law school, and I'm from Detroit, so that's a different setting, right? But when I got to law school and I got to talking with my classmates, the majority of them, my elementary school, they never had black teachers. Some of them, and if they had black teachers, they didn't have black principals. They didn't have black leadership. They never saw. There are some people in Detroit, when I went back to teach at the high school that I graduated from, that said the Cosby Show was fictional. But sitting right there in Detroit, all those people that I just described existed. So the thought process that you're describing is the white man's ice is colder. And that we got over that point in the 50s and 60s, but then now we're back into a cycle of we don't trust each other. And it's got to come to a point where we get back to the thought process that, look, I gotta support my man down the street. I'm gonna go down here and support them. Otherwise, you're gonna get you're never gonna build the economics. So it's gonna take us trusting each other. And the other thing I was going to say to you, Amar, is this.
singularly, it's somebody has to singularly get out there, because the majority of people don't even think business. They don't think like that. They think, give me my civil rights. The majority of people can talk social issues, but they will not speak about economic issues. They're afraid because they don't know about how the economic system works. They don't know how to build a corporation. They don't know the simplest thing of just going online and incorporating your name, getting a tax ID. They just don't know those things. So I'm getting into the weeds. I'll let
Yeah,
others.
yeah, you get into the weeds, you get into the structures, but again, it takes leadership, and I'm sorry to say,
But
black
here's the
leaders.
thing. But here's the thing,
They,
Amar. So if and you made me think of something. That's why I'm jumping in. When I went to talk to a very powerful person that was best friends with the mayor at the time. I was a Democrat before I became a Republican, but I worked in Republican circles, and we were on a conference call, and I wasn't talking to the mayor. I was talking to his best friend and one of the other guys that was good friends with the mayor. And the one guy that was going to green light my nonprofit to get money from the city was like, who does this motherfucker think he is? I said, who the hell do you think you are? But I wasn't holding the purse, right?
okay.
But he was in his Democratic gang mentality, right? And I wasn't coming as a Republican. I was coming in, let's make a backroom deal. We all need to sit in the back room, because old school and what goes on right now in national politics most of the time is you still have the backroom politics where these politicians are sitting together still considering how we're going to do this thing, and you don't know it because they come out in public and they're swinging. It was just like somebody telling you don't invest here, but they're the ones going in to buy up all the shit that they're telling you not to touch. Right. And that's what's happening in the back room. And that's what we don't do. So I was on the backroom politics. It's just the three of us having a discussion about how to make more money. And then so that the black community can prosper even better. But no, the attitude was, who does he think he is? Because it was that got in the way. And that's what is going on right now. It's time immemorial that we keep
Invisible Man. Can I interject something real quick? It's not the
I think
Invisible
as well,
Man. Can I interject something?
The way we are is we're quite emotional. We're emotional.
No, come on. Let's not get into some
over 300 years. We're getting emotional
stuff. I want to
over
build on something that
300
Invisible
years
Man just
events.
stated. Invisible Man. This is what you just stated about
Oh
backroom
Lord, come
deals
on
and other
negativity
things.
again.
This actually ties back into earlier dialogue. See, so many people, both on this call and in the chat room, they keep talking about FBA as a hate group, this, and that. See, that's just nothing more than smear tactics out of fear. And I'm going to put that aside. We can come to that later. But let me get to the point I want to make. What you just stated, Visible Man, what I'm going to add on to is this is what delineation is really about. It's not about hating diaspora immigrants. It's not about hating Africans. It's not about hating Caribbeans. It's about lineage-based tangibles for U.S. slavery descendants, whether you want to use the term freemen, FBA, ADOS, DOS. I'm just using them interchangeably. Because we are, despite I know some people will suck their teeth, some people disagree, but we are
Which faction you belong to?
We feel in different ways.
Wait.
Because look, we see how it's going with referring to actually DEI. Every time they supposedly
let us speak. Let us speak.
Trick bag, bait and switch language, minorities, people of color, and then it goes overwhelmingly to white women. And last I checked,
let me jump in and let me
let the guy finish, man. Let him finish.
Marry white men, so it actually benefits the white community the most. Then followed by other non-white groups. And hell, even white men can get in on it because all they have to do is say they're a member of the rainbow flag community and then they qualify. So
Passport
everything becomes oh yeah, this is for black people and we don't get the benefit. So to reiterate and wrap my point and add on what you're saying, this is what delineation is about. But you have other people that want to malign, and because they may hear someone online say something they don't like, oh, you see, FBAs, they hate Africans, and they try to focus on that as
Passport King, you're always speaking from an
that's
emotional
why we
point
need
of view.
delineation.
You're always speaking from an emotional point of view. You need to get over that, you know?
Look, the
As
idea
an
of
African, I tell
Pan-Africanism,
you that
that
we don't
sounds
hate
great.
you.
But you know
I
what?
don't hate
And I know it's going to rub some people the wrong way. It's going to make them mad. If we lead with that in the United States, it's going to become another bait and switch tactic where diaspora immigrants or even people in Africa get benefits, they get deals, and nothing is left for Black Americans. We've been seeing this play over and
My
over again.
God.
That's what delineation is
Passport
about.
King, can I
Passport
say
It's
King,
about,
something?
look,
you know what?
Passport
you
King,
got
can I
to
say?
stop looking for
Passport
handouts, you know. You have to stop looking for handouts and speaking from an emotional point of view, because it's been
Hold on.
300 years. Look, 300 years, you're still speaking from an emotional point of view. You know what I'm saying?
King
It's
and
a new era, and we're trying to move forward. Do you understand? We're trying to
Gift of
amend
God.
things.
Gift of God and Passport King. Passport King, I was going to agree with you 100%, but and I do agree with you, right? But when you start going down the line talking about white men marrying black, and that you use triggering words that then other people feel that they have to come back on you, and then it becomes this back and forth.
Yeah,
I
but that
agree.
wasn't
Hold on.
slander though. I was
No,
making a
hold on.
point. Don't white women overwhelmingly marry white men? I'm not trying to pick. I'm not
Passport
arguing.
King,
Is
that has
that
nothing
a
to. I
lie?
don't. Are we gonna? Do we give a damn? Really? Because
No, but
if
hold
we
on.
sit in the back room
I
and we
wasn't
say
saying.
this is our
Hold on.
goal,
I wasn't invisible man. I wasn't saying that to be salacious. The point I was making is because white women have been the primary beneficiary of these programs that was supposedly meant for, let's just say, U.S. slavery descendants and all the other terms that we also use interchangeably.
Okay, I agree.
And because white women get those programs,
no.
and
Passport King, listen to this. Listen to this. Does that really matter?
Actually, it does matter.
No, Passport King, listen to me. Will that stop you and one of your partners that think like you, that want to create a liquor company? Does that stop you from doing that? And that's what, and I say that because that is what I believe Rokoya, that's what Sid, I think that's what Amara, and I think Maya's sister. Well, Maya's sisters is sort of, well, that's what we were talking about. Those things are not they're not important to us building a financial investment vehicle that
Thank
can
you.
then come and grow our power. So when we start adding on to the reasons that you may think prevent us, that's civil, that's not economic. And sometimes when we introduce some of those things, I'm guilty of it too. Sometimes when we introduce that language into the discussion, then we break down and we go off on these different directions that get away from the main issue. And the main issue, I think, on this topic is building Black wealth.
But invisible man. Well, hold on. Okay, let me respond to you. But do you understand that the hijacking of civil rights and giving it to people that ideally and really officially they should have never been included because they was not.
Yes, I absolutely agree. Yes.
Okay, so if you don't acknowledge the past, you're going to repeat it. That's why I'm saying the delineation is about, because see, people keep framing FBA as a hate group,
and that's wrong. That is
it's
wrong.
Very wrong.
That is wrong, and I agree with
in the chat. There's people that have said it either indirectly or directly right here in this chat, FBA are not going around to diaspora communities with machetes and trying to enact a genocide like happened in Rwanda. FBAs are going to diaspora communities.
So now you're going to trigger the Africans.
No, but look, hey, I'm not trying to be inflammatory, but you got to put things in a clear, concise manner, because I don't think they understand
Pastor
when they
King.
say certain
This guy
words.
gets so much hatred for
Pastor King,
African.
you know what?
And
Let me ask you a question.
Because when y'all
Look,
use certain
Sidi,
statements,
easy.
I don't
Let
think
me
y'all
ask
understand
Pastor
what
King a
that
question.
means.
Let me ask you a question.
hold
Pastor
on,
King,
FBA are
I've got a
not going
question
to
for you.
diaspora communities and demanding
I've
they
got a
leave the
question for
United
you.
States. We're not self-deputizing ourselves and kicking diaspora people out of the USA as what's going on in South Africa. So that's why I take heavy
Pastor
offense
King.
to trying to claim that foundational Black Americans is a hate group.
Pastor King.
That's very inflammatory and
And
slanderous
I agree
language.
with you. I agree with you 100%.
Dynast, I would like to respond.
Pastor King, can I ask you a question? Just a one question, yeah? Like just what Invisible Man was saying. Do you want to see FBA become economically powerful?
And okay, good. Let's top on that. Let's touch on that right now.
Do you want to see that?
He has no knowledge of
How
that.
are you going to do that then?
Hold on. Let's get something clear. Part of the reason of also too is a certain disingenuousness. What y'all like to do, y'all like to point to the most impoverished aspect, and I'm not saying there's no poor in Black America who are FBA, freemen, ADOS. That does exist. However, there's also over 50% of Black Americans who are FBA are in the middle class, and they are FBA who are in the top 10%.
No, you're not answering my question. I said, do you want to see FBA become economically powerful?
We are economically powerful already. It's just that
are you?
Our reach. Oh, really?
Are you?
Really?
What,
why
do you have
laughing?
reach? Yeah.
Oh, really? Yes, we do.
Do you have reach? Well, so if you've got reach, yeah. What say?
Earlier in this call, I spoke about the Asian boycott, but then Dynast cut me
Oh
off,
my
and you wanted to
God.
talk about it. Hey, hold on, listen. This is the point. If we didn't have any power or no money, then why are Asians online basically begging? Some are begging online.
Look, there is 1 point something billion Asians. Do you understand? Do you know that there's 1 point something billion Asians, 1.5 billion Asians in the world? They're the largest population in the
Let me tell
world.
you how bad the boycott
Come
is
on,
for
man, wake up, bro.
businesses. Hold on, you don't want to listen. Let me tell you how bad it is for the Asian-owned businesses of the Black community. Some of them, not jokingly, some of them are talking about they want to go to the government and get the government to include not supporting their businesses as a part of being a part of Asian hate.
Where's the facts on that? Where's the facts
This
on
is the
that?
part I don't understand you
Is that
guys.
just
Your
hearsay?
Boko target, it did not work. Your Boko Africans, it
That's
did
just
not work.
hearsay. CD,
And now you're
let me
going to the
finish.
Asians?
CD,
You know how many millions of
hold
Asians?
up. CD, let me finish, please. Let me finish. Look,
and it's still going on.
CD, look, that's just hearsay. Is
That's
there
not
actual
hearsay.
fact? Is there tangibles
What do you mean?
saying that that's what's actually happening?
It's not hearsay. There's Asian stores that's closing.
Where is the facts? Where is it? But this is what I'm saying to you. There is 1.5 billion Asians. They all got Chinatown. They all got all these institutions and establishments. Do you think your little money is going to be like, you know what I'm saying? It's going to really affect them?
There's
Come on,
1.5
bro.
billion
Look,
Asians in the USA.
not in
Hold on, go ahead. My Rokoy, I think wanted to speak. Go ahead.
Thank you for allowing me to speak. I would just like to comment in partial agreement with both Passport King and
gift of God.
She's gone offline. But I just want to ask.
Something. May I?
Go ahead.
Yeah, what I was going to say was I just really respond to Passport King and
that
when
I believe
she's back.
She's back. She's back.
Okay, I'll let
She's
her
going in and out.
afterwards.
In and out.
Well, what
can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. Well, I don't know if Rakoya is talking. I will let her finish.
Okay.
No, you're back. Finish up.
I just jumped in because you were in and out, but I really just wanted to again talk a little bit directly to Passport King. Um, of course, when you speak about FBA and delineation, that's moot. I mean, that's understandable. Okay, when you the lady, I forgot her name, when you talk about maintaining the legacy of your history, that's moot. People understand that. I believe that at the core of every African or Afro descendant, diaspora, Caribbean, we understand the unique history that each group has lived through in terms of experience. Now, it is based on how much knowledge that people self acquire, because I can assure you, many people on the continent have no knowledge of African American history by design. And same way, a lot of African Americans don't also have a good understanding of African history. So we are all working towards building this bridge, and it expands and it grows with time and all that. But I always say that you can still say two truths can hold in a sentence without one being an opposition to the other. If you talk about delineation,
It's a problem. Anyway, Passport King.
right?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, what I was saying, I hope you guys heard what I was saying. Looked like I went into
No, we didn't catch the last part.
You cut out for a few seconds.
Okay,
caught
so
up.
yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. That we can delineate, we can still say the same things positively and empowering in the same language because it is understood. There's a baseline for that already. Africans know in history that there are some parts of the African family was taken into slavery. We didn't know the full story, but we do know it. So instead of building conversations and narratives in an antagonistic way, which seems to be the language of America. I mean, you always have to have a villain and somebody has to be the good part. It plays out in your movies, it plays out in your culture. But that's a big psychological thing because when you start taking on a position where you want to stand on your truth, but you must create somebody else who is a villain, then we can't talk. So sometimes I don't even understand whether we understand the psychology of what's going on. That takes a certain, I don't know. I mean, people always say I speak at that level, but I see through the tricks. And I say, look, there has to be an ulterior motive because why you can delineate and have no enemies? Why do you have to delineate and create an enemy? It makes no sense to me. Everybody can see your history is the same.
Who is the enemy that we created?
You create enemies. I mean, you have watched you a lot of times talking about Africans in a derogatory way.
Good. Let's get to the crux of it.
This guy never traveled. He doesn't even have passport. He calls himself prophet.
I want her to understand how we creating enemies.
Your description, your narratives always has to transpose against something. For example, you just made a statement and said FBA people are not chasing Africans where they're not the ones in Rwanda charging after other Africans or in South Africa. You have to contrast.
Isn't that but hold on. Hold on, but isn't that a truthful statement?
But listen, sir.
Hold on. That will
only you can't force me to like you.
No. That will only be a problem if I made a false statement. Was that a false statement?
I'm also going to ask you the same thing. In Chicago, every day there are murders of being committed by FBA against other FBAs. Am I going to say that, therefore, that I can contrast that behavior and the fact that a lot of FBA are killing each other? Am I going to contrast that to a conflict in Africa that occurred because two warring people are fighting? None of them is relevant to the conversation we are having, is what I'm trying to tell you. You don't need to say
what it is?
No, I mean you have to understand this guy level, the level of understanding.
Hold on.
No.
I'm glad. Hold on. I'm glad she said
Africans.
Chicago, because see, this
No,
proves the point
this is
right
the problem with
here.
us
Y'all
Africans.
simply repeat the same narratives you hear in the mainstream media. Y'all
Passport, bro.
pick up
If you want to be
y'all pick up
alienated,
the
you're not
same
special.
white
There's nothing
nationalist
special
rhetoric
about
and
FBA.
repeat it verbatim.
Okay?
And don't think
There's
about
nothing
it.
special.
Serious.
If you
So
want to
there's
be
no
alienated,
shooters in the suburbs. Hold on.
go
There's no,
ahead.
hold on.
Be my
There's no
guest.
serial killers in white suburbs. There's no arsonists. There's no rape.
Bruh,
This guy never traveled anywhere. He never traveled in his life.
Africa, go right ahead.
Tell me,
Guys.
when's the last? Hold on. When's the last time?
What makes you so special?
Hold on. When's the last time you seen an FBA pick
Amara,
up
easy.
No, don't cut me off. I'm just making my statement. If these people want to be alienated, let them go ahead.
Hold on.
You're not special. You're not a special kind of black person.
When do you see FBA take up rifles and other?
I don't think FBA can be alienation. You do not care about your African DNA or African history or none of that. If you want to do that, go ahead. You're not special. You are not special.
Amari, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing what they're doing, yeah?
Let them go ahead. If you want to do that, do that.
It's not a bad thing. Calm down.
What are the benefits anyway? What are the benefits anyway of black humanity?
Amari, calm down. You're being emotional. Look, listen.
No. There's no benefit.
Listen, you're being emotional. Calm down.
Recognize and
Look. There's no need to get emotional over 300 years.
It's not emotional, but you can't beg nobody.
Emotional
you guys
over
got to calm
nothing.
down. You guys got to calm down. This guy, he's not
nobody. Nobody's begging nobody.
This guy is not even African American. He's Caribbean.
African roots or anything but African today, you're more than welcome. If you can you can dance in the palm or bleach and take all your blackness away.
I can't even understand the thing he's saying. All I'm hearing is
that's what I'm trying to say. You're really not
Charlie
special.
Brown from back in the day. I hear the
You're
Charlie
not
Brown.
really special.
Walk.
FBA is not special.
I can't understand.
This is becoming, you're coming into low intellectual debates now. It's becoming a low intellectual debate. Stop it.
You sound very
Africans, that's your problem. You're not somebody that doesn't like you. If somebody wants to de-alienate and not proud of the African history, so be it. So be it. What makes you special?
Dynast, can I
Yeah, God. Okay, yeah. Hold on. Let the sister talk. Let the sister talk. Go ahead, Maya.
Yes, I would like to return the conversation to economics. And as I stated before, I am in partial agreement with Passport King and the Invisible Man. And I think what the Invisible Man is a little too dismissive about how these federal government programs provide the fuel or the seed money for expansion of other businesses. For example, Elon Musk receives $82 billion annually in government grants.
No, you wouldn't receive that one time from Obama. There's only one time we received that. Yeah, we didn't one time.
Okay, we can. I dispute that, but
no, we didn't one time. I remember when he was struggling financially, he got money from Obama. Obama gave him money.
Okay, but the issue here is this: that provided him with seed money to continue his company and to expand into other endeavors.
Yep.
Now, this is something the Invisible Man that I want you to consider. In the city of Montgomery, Alabama, in 2024, the Biden-Harris administration gave Montgomery, Alabama, which is predominantly Black, FBA, a $82 million grant to improve their water system. Hold on, just let me finish, please. The whites throughout the state, they were trying to take over that $82 million grant because what it meant was the city of Montgomery, this Black community, would be able to give out contracts to other Black contractors. And the whites wanted that money. This happens over and over again. And so what I would like the invisible man to consider is that government contracts provides the seed money to fuel other business endeavors. And so I do not think we should just shrug off and say, do it on your own. Don't ask for government handouts. Number one, we're American citizens.
So
These
Maya,
grants should be
I'm
available
not,
to everybody.
Maya, I'm not
Yeah, but then
disagreeing
you
with
have to
guy, hold on, the guys, not everybody. My, are you finished?
Yes, let them go ahead. And
Okay,
I'll
I'm so invisible man, you can respond, and I'm passing the bit Black. Then we got to
Maya,
report from that. Go ahead, Invisible
I'm
Man.
not shrugging anything off. What I am well aware of how these programs work. I've been in went to congressional Black caucuses where they've held meetings on this, and I have been involved in those meetings. So just to give you an idea as to how this works sometimes on the local level is that HUD money comes down to the local level. That local level then disperses those monies. And I can give you an example of how in a city like Detroit, predominantly Black, that also has a very powerful Arab Chaldean community who plays group economics and group political power very well, that the money that was to come to improving storefronts for small business people, the majority of that money came down through Wayne County, of which the head of the program was an Arab woman, and 90% of that money went to gas stations and liquor stores that Arabs own. It did not go. So I only say that to say that I'm well aware, and I'm not trying to say don't go after the money. I went down that road. And if you're not politically connected in the local level, because that's where that money, it's federal money, but it's dispersed through the local elected officials, and you have to be in with them. That's why I made that analogy to gang thought process, because if you're not a part of the Democratic Party or you don't know anybody that is you're not aligned with them, well, you're not going to get the money. So it comes down to me breaking it up using the example of an Arab group that is a very small percentage of the population versus the Black group, which I was fighting for, which I went to some people to try to force them to say, give it to the store owners that are on Finkel, give it to them on 7 Mile, give it to them in the neighborhoods. It did not go down there. So I just wanted to say I'm well aware of it, and I'm not telling anybody to not try to get to try to get those federal funds in order to build up businesses.
All right, go ahead, Big Black.
Okay, first of all, far foremost, not all African Americans agree with the term FBA. We are not FBA. First of all, let's get that straight. I'm tired of all these FBA cats. FBA is a hate group. Let's put it plain. It is a hate group. I'm tired of all these FBA cats. Of a part of this hate group come on these Pan-African places and try to label all African Americans as FBA. We are not FBA. FBA, the name was just made 6 years ago. And yes, FBA is very xenophobic. You got the leader of FBA right now, Tariq Nasheed. He comes out with 3 or 4 xenophobic videos a day. He sits on one of these social media platforms and he goes back and forth with continental Africans, Caribbeans, back and forth daily, and he puts them out daily, about 3 videos a day. It's pretty much like a cycle. It's a never-ending cycle what he does. And he wonders why, and then these people that quote-unquote grab to this name FBA wonder why everybody doesn't like him, including a lot of African Americans. Again, the people that are FBA, they don't make up any population of the African American community. Okay, most African Americans have never heard the word FBA. Now, every time I see these clowns on here, I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna denounce that. Okay, because we're African Americans are not FBA, and when you all talk to them, please just refer to them as a group, because that's what they want to do. They want to come to Pan-African platforms, right? And just sit there and just use the word FBA. So pretty soon everybody will be calling African Americans FBA. That's what they're doing. But they
FBA is a hate group. What
it is a hate group.
Committed?
But no,
It is a hate group. It is.
It's a hate group. We weren't calling ourselves. Nobody was calling themselves FBA 7 years ago.
That's not the question. If
no, this is the question.
It is a hate group.
It is the question. It's a hate group.
Have they committed? That's a straight.
It's a hate group. All they do is they talk xenophobia on they talk about hate on the internet all day. It's
They never travel.
Good. Continue. Now explain how that's a hate crime. Explain.
It's not a hate crime, but it's a
hate
group.
You didn't say hate crime.
So
it's
you just admitted it.
a hate group.
It's not a hate crime.
So
what? But it is immoral. It doesn't mean necessarily it's a crime. And it's not everything you have to be a crime to be bad.
Keep on going. Here's the thing, Passport King.
So what's
I was talking
FBA
first.
Or people lying about FBA, the slander or delineation movement. That sounds like it's
Passport King. I was talking
This is the part I don't understand. This is only English you can understand. Then you don't have the interpretation of English. This is the only language you can speak.
No, what sounds you know what sounds like COINTELPRO is that Tariq got visited by the feds, right? Listen.
What about Tariq? Yeah.
Tariq got visited by the feds when he got his house pranked on, and ever since then he's been pushing FBA. That's like some COINTELPRO stuff.
Martin Luther King was under federal surveillance. Malcolm X was under federal surveillance.
Yeah, but he didn't change his tune.
People in the
he didn't change. He always was a Pan-African. He didn't change his tune.
Louis Farrakhan's under federal surveillance.
He didn't change his tune
under federal surveillance. So what are you saying?
All these people didn't change their tune. Tariq changed his tune. That's the difference.
What's the difference?
Tariq changed his tune. He was a Pan-African.
Okay, he changed his tune.
As soon as they visit him, now he's not Pan-African. Now he wants to do this FBA stuff. Come on, man. I was born on the day. It wasn't yesterday.
So you're saying the federal government made Tariq Nasheed not be Pan-African? Where's your proof?
Hey, when you in the streets,
let me
tell you. Can I speak? Can I speak?
Where's your proof?
Because you game goofy. That's the thing. A lot of you FBAs are game goofy.
No, that's
right?
that's an
insult.
No,
it is an insult. But at the same time, when you don't have wisdom, you don't prove. When you don't have,
that's a fact.
Ask you a question.
When you don't have wisdom, you walk around.
Yeah, this is when you lack of wisdom, then you talk nonsense.
Right, you don't have you're foolish, man. Let me talk.
Okay,
I was speaking.
Good. You know what? I agree with you. You know what? I'm gonna agree with you. I'm foolish. Now explain to me like a 5-year-old.
No. Listen to me. I don't have to explain to you nothing. If you don't get it, if you don't have any instincts, right? If you don't have any survival instincts, I can't explain to you like a
one at a time, please.
Just slander. You just make a slanderous statement.
Right, Passport King, let him land. Let him finish. Passport King.
Let him
finish. This guy don't even travel. I don't even know why he calls himself Passport King. He never traveled in his life.
Passport King. It's okay.
And now you want to make
Big Black land there.
A comedy routine.
Let Big Black land.
See, that's what I'm saying. He's game goofy, right? You can take it to the streets.
Well, wait a minute. You're not going to sway the argument. Where's your proof that the federal government made Tariq Nasheed stop being Pan-African? That's what Big Black said. I want to hear the proof.
Sometimes you don't need.
Where's your evidence?
Hey, Passport King. Sometimes you need to be. Have you ever heard better safe than sorry?
This is the
Have you ever heard better safe than sorry?
Y'all so-called Pan-Africanists
Passport.
I think because you can lie, scheme, and cheat in your homeland, you can lie, cheat, and scheme in the United States and not be held accountable. We don't play that here.
If it walks like a duck,
back up your statements. Otherwise, you're just engaging in slander.
And quack like a duck, it's a good chance.
Back up your statements. Where's your evidence?
If it walks like a duck,
where's your evidence?
And it quack like a duck.
Where is your evidence? Okay, so if you smoking crack, because it sounds like you smoke
now you're attacking the man's personality. You can't argue. That's senseless, bro. That not normal person cannot argue like that. What is the proof that he calling you a crack smoker? That's disrespectful.
Right, that's
I guess you're smoking
but,
meth.
but that's what
disrespectful.
what you're saying.
See, the thing is, FBA,
The thing is
how
what?
they do is they like to insult, they like to throw. All they do is throw videos talking about every other ethnic group, right? Because they take their orders from Tariq Nasheed. It's nothing but Tariq Nasheed talking points.
And now you just call this guy crack smoker. What is the proof?
Now, check this out. Let's talk about
Let's
talk about credibility.
Pan-Africanist. Where's
Let's
that
talk
proof?
about Tariq Nasheed credibility, right? He's coming out with a new movie, right? Let me ask you that.
Because of the attack on Tariq Nasheed. You don't have any
I am, because I can talk. You've been talking a whole bunch of blubber all day.
Go ahead.
When I say something,
let's hear the slander. I'm going to listen to your slander. Go ahead. Go ahead with the slander.
Because you like to be under the bosom of Tariq. You like to be under the bosom of Tariq. So it hurts as if I'm talking about a close member, right?
Yeah.
That's why you won't let me talk.
No, because you
like
said
to be under the
FBA is a
bosom
hate
of
group, and I'm trying to get the evidence of that.
You come around.
Where's the
You come around because they're
let him finish.
Right.
He's not saying anything. He's babbling.
No, you're not saying anything. You get the
You're not letting him speak, though. You let him speak.
What is the proof that you said Essential is failing? What is the proof? Where do you get your report from?
He sounds like a
From
special
Tariq
needs kid that's high on drugs.
Look, that's the FBA tactic, right? You just keep talking, but another African American disagrees with his point. You just keep talking and talking and talking. You won't let me land.
Is that Asians are baking on social media? How many Chinese?
Look,
I haven't
hold
finished
on.
yet.
You claim that FBA is a
100 miles per hour,
and I still haven't heard the evidence.
Everybody else is
Where is
quiet.
the evidence?
Everybody, can you be quiet?
This guy's a clown, man. He's a clown.
Hold on.
Clown, man.
Are you going to answer the question proving
You're a
FBA
clown.
is a
You don't
hate group?
First of all,
Is it a
okay,
yes
let
or
me
no?
ask you. What's the?
Are you
what's
going
the-
to? No. It's
No,
yes or no. Are you going to give the evidence proving FBA is a hate group? Is it
If it
yes or
walks
no?
like a duck and it talks like a duck.
No. See, that's not a yes or a
Yes,
no.
it is.
So you
It's a
just
duck.
babbling.
Yeah.
Thank you for proving
I
my
go,
point.
hey,
just
a lot of us
babbling.
have you. Let me ask you. Let me ask you, City. Do you use your instincts through life to navigate you in the right directions? Have your instincts saved you from going down bad roads in your lifetime?
Hello?
Yeah.
Say that again, please.
Have you used your instincts, right? Your intuition to guide you through troubled times, and it led you in the right direction? Have you done it in your life before?
Well, yes. Of course. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. If you see these traits from Tariq Nasheed, he's been on this Pan-African thing and selling movies. So 5 Pan-African movies, and all of a sudden Pan-Africanism isn't no.
Yeah. I remember he was Pan-African.
He was Pan-African.
But full and passport king will follow him because he never traveled. He had no knowledge. He's just talking about businesses failing. He cannot give us the substantial evidence.
That's odd. What have you? Have you known anyone? Have you ever heard anyone do that before? Who else have done that before? Change was Pan-African and stop being Pan-African. That was
right.
So wait a minute, hold on. So Pan-Africanism is a gang that once you're in, if you leave, you what? They gotta hunt you down and kill you. Is it a gang? Because hold on, that sounds like a gang or a cult.
But no. What I'm saying.
Wait a minute. So let's hold on. No. Let's go with this.
You can't even say that Passport King. We've got a history of credibility.
What's the better?
You can't even call it a crime.
Okay, Passport King.
We got deep
Tell the truth. Do
history.
you really have passport?
We got
really
deep
have
history,
passport?
man. You can't even go there, man.
So wait a
Passport
minute.
King.
As soon as a
Do you have a better plan than Pan-Africanism? Passport.
What happens? What's the
Passport
punishment?
King.
Hold on.
Does Tariq have a better plan than Pan-Africanism?
Hold on,
Yes or
no. So if someone's a Pan-African and
Yeah.
they decide they're not one anymore, what's the punishment?
Listen, do you
Is
have
it a
a
death
better
sentence?
plan?
Hold on, no. What's the punishment?
Passport King.
That's a senseless. That's a senseless question,
No,
man.
y'all brought that up.
Passport
I want to know
King.
what's
Do
the
you have-
punishment?
That question makes no sense.
What's the FBA
What's the
plan?
punishment?
What's the plan? What's the
No,
end
I
goal?
know.
What's the end game? What's the end game of this
So is
FBA movement?
Pan-Africanism a cult?
What's the
Is
end-
it a gang?
I can show you gains from Pan
Is it a
Africanism.
cult? Is it a
You
gang?
can't show me gains from FBAism.
You
Point
said
blank.
he's a hate group, and you still haven't proven
Exactly.
how.
Because all you do is talk xenophobia.
Exactly.
Xenophobia. You on the internet. All you do is hate.
And you never travel. You never been in any
Look
part
how
of the
you all,
world.
look how
Where
you
you
all
get the
did
information from?
Now explain how that's
Look how you all did Godfrey.
or hate
Godfrey
crime.
tried to defend.
How many?
Look how
Okay.
the FBA gang did Godfrey as an example. Godfrey
So how
always
many?
tried to
How
defend the
many
gang FBA.
homes owned
Right?
by
He
Africans
didn't
or
laugh at
Caribbean
one joke
immigrants?
from a Nigerian and you all threw him under the bus.
You gotta go Dynast to
How
Africa,
many
man.
homes
otherwise you
have
choose your name. You know, no
burned
fucking
down
fancy.
that's been owned by Africans or
Let me
Caribbeans
ask you
in the
this.
USA?
Is
No.
FBA
This
on
is
the
a simple
application?
question. No.
Is the name FBA
You
on the
wanna
application?
babble. You want to
Is the name
filibuster.
FBA on the application, man? Is the name FBA on your job
How many
application?
homes have
Let
FBAs
me
burned
ask.
down
Listen,
that owned by
listen.
Africans or Caribbean?
It's only 1,000 of
That's a
y'all.
simple question. How many
It's only
homes
1,000. I
have
don't know. I don't
Africans?
know all 1,000 FBA.
We
It's only
mean don't
1,000
know.
FBA. It's
No.
only 1,000
You were such
FBA.
an hold on.
It's
You
only
were such an
1,000
expert on
FBA.
FBA
Listen.
for
Listen.
the last 10, 15
Listen,
minutes.
it's
Now
over
all of a sudden you don't
50,000
know?
African Americans.
Hold
You
on.
asking me
Hold
about
on.
a tiny group.
You was an expert on FBA
It's
for
a
the
group.
last 20 minutes. Now all of a sudden you
It's a
don't
group.
know.
I
Hold
know them,
on.
but
Where's
from
the
the
lie?
I know them from
No,
the
there's a
internet
lie
activities.
somewhere.
I know them
So
from
how?
the internet
Okay.
activities.
No. So since you're an
It's a
expert on
small
FBA,
group.
tell me how many FBAs have burned down homes owned by Africans and Caribbeans since we're a hate group? How many have done it? How many
You have to
been
burn down
arrested?
houses to
Can
be
I
a
ask
hit
a
group.
question? Can I ask
Do
a
you really have to
question?
do that?
Can I ask
Do
a
you,
question?
do you have to do that
No.
before you
You
be a
got to
hit
answer
group?
my question first.
Let me
How
ask the
many
question.
FBAs have
Because
been
that's
arrested
your level
for
of
burning down
understanding.
homes of
Do you have
African
to burn down? You have to
Caribbean
be a
immigrants?
violent person before you
Let
be a hit
me
group?
ask the question, Passport King. Can I ask the question?
Cause see, y'all want to play these little word
Oh,
games
you
of smear and
can I answer the
slander,
question?
and that's not legally what
you
a
ain't-
hate group is.
It is a hate group. It is.
How?
It
Explain.
is.
Yeah, but
I've been
you
asking
think when they say
First
hit,
of
you have
all,
to burn down houses
first
first?
And
of
you know
all,
what you've been saying?
can we?
If it walks like a duck, if it
It
quacks like a
is.
duck, then it
Oh,
must
yeah.
be a
Okay.
duck.
Look,
First of
let me
all,
come in. Let me come in, please. Yeah, both of you. Look.
You have no. What do you mean by it's
Silly,
not a hit group? You have to burn down houses before you be a hit group.
Let me come in.
Okay.
Let me come in.
Wait, but let me say it is a group though. Are we wrong about saying that? It's a group.
I'd
No,
like to
it's a
respond.
lineage, you
It is
moron.
a group. It's not a lineage.
It's a
It's not
lineage, it's not a
recognized.
group.
It's not
So
recognized.
that
No.
shows you right there. You know
No,
what
it's
the hell
not.
you're talking about
It's
and just
about
lying.
1,000 people on the
It's a
internet. Nobody uses
lineage.
the. If I walk down
It's
the
not
street
a
and ask a
group.
black
Hold
man,
on.
is the
Hold
FBA?
on.
He's
If
going to look at me
FBA
like
was
crazy.
a group, that
It
means
is a group.
Jamaicans can join. That means Trinidad. You can't join a lineage. You're either in the lineage or
No,
you're not in the
everybody.
lineage.
Hey, can
So
you
here
join?
you go.
Hey,
That's
can you
how little you
Passport King?
understand.
Can you join the
You're
Hell's
just
Angels?
talking out your behind.
You
You
can't
just
join
sound
the Hell's
crazy.
Angels in this
Hold
group.
on, you just sound crazy.
You can't join the Hell's Angels in this group. They don't allow black people to join.
Is the Hell's
FBA
Angel
is
a
a group.
lineage? Hold on.
FBA is a
Wait a
group.
minute. Are you claiming the Hell's Angel, which is a motorcycle club, is a lineage?
No,
Or
I'm saying it's a group, just
hold
like
on, no.
FBA.
Now you're gonna stop. Is the
FBA
Hell's
is a
Angels
group.
a lineage?
No, it's a group, just like FBA.
All right, so there you go. I just said
It's a,
FBA is not
there
a
you
group,
go.
it's
It's
a
a group.
lineage.
FBA is a group.
Every
Thank you.
time you think
FBA
you
is
got
a group.
I got
It's
you
not a
question,
lineage.
you
Where
keep
can you
showing and
prove that?
proving.
Where can you
Let
prove
me
that?
ask you
I haven't
let me ask
seen
you
it. When I
another
get a
question.
job application, I don't see the term
Hold
FBA
on.
on my job application.
Big
Do you
Black.
see the term
When you
FBA
went
on
to
your job
school,
application?
Big Black. When you went to
Do you
school,
see the term
And then
FBA on your
you
job
never had a
application?
regular job. Then you never had a regular job. If you
When
say
you
that, you
went to
never had a
school
regular
as a
job.
child, did a
I
little
never
short
see
yellow bus
FBA
pick
on a
you
job
up?
application.
Big
Have you
Black.
Passport
When you
King?
went to school as a child, did a little short yellow
No,
bus used to
they
pick
don't.
you up
They
and take
don't.
you to
Hey,
school?
listen.
Was you
I had
picked up
to.
by? Was you
Sir,
picked up by a
sir, were you
short
dropped
girl
on your
yelling
head?
bus big black and taken to school as a
Do you have
child?
secret
Because I
fantasy for
think you was
curricular
taken to
seed,
school in a
passport
short
team?
bus.
Do you want to see treat
I
that
think I really do believe you was taken to school in the short
sir.
bus, Big Black.
Like,
Because you're
listen,
not making
you
no
don't have
sense.
you don't
You're talking
when you
about
go-
dust.
All right, guys. All right, guys. I'm reading this last super chat. We're closing out. Rokoya's point was simple. Intergroup violence is irrelevant to this conversation. So why bring it up? All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Till next time, family. Dynast Amir, search for Huru. Peace.
It's